Welcome, everybody. Episode 666 of the Boxing Asylum Nuthouse is coming your way on Sundays at 8 o'clock in the UK, 12 o'clock Pacific time, United States, all time zones in between. Are you floating around in a boat in the middle of the ocean? Well, you can probably fucking listen to us somewhere around dinner. Good for you. It sure beats talking to people on a fucking boat that you see every goddamn day. That could create a horror movie. Throw those bitches overseas. There you go. Eaten by sharks? Who knows? Anyhow, we're going to have a fun episode. We're going to talk about the evil bastards of boxing in honor of our 666, maybe discuss a few of our favorite horror films along the way, but we're going to kick it off with Mr. Bam Rodriguez. Proving the odds makers correct, those sons of fucking bitches were so on correct. I thought my overplay was perfect. I got it at over 5.5. Thought it was good. That means 90 seconds into the sixth round, your money. The fight is stopped with 13 seconds left before I fucking win that bet. The over-under had moved to 6.5, but that basically is saying, like, the sixth round is where they saw this fight ending, and sometimes these guys are good, like that fucking good. There's a reason they hire them to build these lines, because you can't have those guys making bets. They're going to eat your goddamn lunch. So they nailed it. Just like Bam nailed Vargas with that left hand, but he was in it tough early. Vargas was turning with him, keeping his shot short, shifting with Bam as much as he could. But then Bam was able to land a scooping left in the seventh, in the fifth, and then just bombarded him in the sixth. And such a great combination puncher, such great feet. Sixth round stoppage victory. Bam Rodriguez, top 5 pound for pound in the sport. I don't know how many people would argue against that. He's an impressive guy, Justin. I very rarely have anything negative to say about this dude.
Vargas, I think Vargas's size gave him. You could tell. I mean, he reddened up Bam a little bit. I think just because the fact that he was so much bigger. I think that did give Bam a little issue for the first few rounds because Vargas was landing some shots, and I think he was never hurting him, but his size just did give him some issues. But you could see that Bam was turning him. He was getting that left hand in. It was coming. The knockout was coming. You could see he was setting up his shots. He was turning him into that left hand, and he knocked him down both times with the same shot. If you go back, when you watch it, it's the same shot. He turned him right into it. But that was a weird knockout. You don't ever see the guy get knocked out and then go to a knee and then crumble down. That was a fun knockout. Bam is what he is. Like I said, I've seen him fight twice. I love Bam. Vargas is a chinny guy, so we all knew the knockout was going to come. Like I said, you lost your bet by 14 seconds, but I'll give Vargas this. I don't think you could call it selling his title, but that's kind of the way everybody was wording it, that he didn't have to fight Bam, that he kind of did. But see,
you're not going to get better money. I mean, they say selling your title, but like, what the fuck are you going to do? Not make money? Yeah.
At least if you're going to take the money and take a fight that everybody says you're going to lose, at least don't pull a fucking Charles Martin and all those fucking guys. At least show up.
Oh yeah, and he totally
give
did.
it away.
He tried. Did. He might have won 2 of the first 3 rounds, actually.
Because I think part of that was he was active. It took Bam a little while to get used to the fact of how big he was. He was trying to put his weight on him. But once Bam started turning him and started getting his shots in, it was just too much for him. I don't know how much higher Bam can go than this, because I know they want the Inoue fight, but man, the way Vargas was able to land some clean shots at times, and just the size-wise, even though Inoue's not that big either, I know
they're going to hurt. They're going to hurt.
Inoue, I think Inoue beats Bam. I'm 100%. I'm 95% sure if they fight within a year, which I don't think they will, but if they do, Inoue will beat Bam, just on fact of Inoue does everything just as well as Bam does, so Bam won't have the advantage.
I wouldn't say it. He doesn't. Inoue doesn't cut corners the way Bam does. He has good foot speed. He uses his feet to control distance, but he doesn't use his feet to create angles way that Bam does.
Let's put it this way: Bam doesn't do anything way better than. I mean, there's nothing he does that Inoue hasn't seen. So I believe Inoue wins that if they do fight it. But I think Bam probably needs to fight at least another fight at this weight before he tries to go another 4 pounds and even think about doing that fight. I don't
Well,
think I would go
they
up.
mentioned him fighting Medina for another belt there. I think that's ridiculous. Like if you want to make a big money fight with Naoya Inoue,
Just
what
do it.
should you do? You should go and you should fight Takuma Inoue and do it in Japan.
Yeah.
And you go ahead and beat I think he's the younger brother. You beat little brother, and then the big brother fight is an even bigger event than it might have been.
You know what? I say fuck that. Fuck it. Just go up and do it now. Who gives a shit? If you think you're great and you're top 5, you've already gone up 4. Go up again. If you lose to Inoue, Bam doesn't lose shit. Credit.
Credit wise, it depends on how he's beaten. And
well, yeah, if he gets
like
knocked out, but if I'm Bam, I just say fuck it. Go up. That fight will be massive because there's no way it won't sell. I don't think he'd has to. I wouldn't fuck around too long at 118. Maybe they want to give him one more, but I say fuck it. Go up to 122, like you said. Fight somebody at 122. Take their belt, and then
there
be
are
ready
no belts at 122. Naoya has them all.
When they go up, just go up and say fuck it. Because unless you get completely destroyed, like you said, he just goes back down to 118 if he loses, and nobody gives a shit. You lost to a legend. It happens. Who cares?
Yeah, I like the fight against little brother though. Could get another belt at 118.
But you know what? Little brother is not bad.
No,
that'll be a good fight.
But if you can't beat Takuma,
no, you got
point, right?
Well, see what they would love to happen is him go up, knock out Takuma, and you know how much money. You know how much money that fight would generate if he knocked him out.
Yes.
Oh, you beat my brother. It's like the Klitschko. It's the Klitschko's all over again.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I got to defend my brother. Yeah.
That's the idea. Like let's sell out the Tokyo Dome again. If they are able to do that with a non-Japanese fighter against Inoue, like the Nakatani fight, like that was created organically through just two great Japanese fighters in and around the same weight classes. But creating that atmosphere with a Mexican American kid against Inoue. That'd be awesome.
They'll sell out regardless if he beats Takuma or not. If Bam comes to Japan, that'll sell out regardless. Because they're top 5 per pound. That Japanese love boxing. They don't have to have him beat Takuma. That will sell out if they fought 3 months from now.
You might be right. I just feel there's a lot of ways to produce more money on that. But anyways, let's go to James. James is about certain as well that Inoue beats Bam. But that aside, James, what do you think about that performance last night? 3 rounds, looking a little bit rough for him, and then late in the 4th round, he just started to turn the jets on, found that shot in the 5th, and it just a different game, a different game.
I thought Vargas knew about Bam's reliance on the pivot. You know what I mean? He was pivoting all the time to his lead foot, trying to get around that right side corner. But it's such a natural maneuver for Bam that you can read it for so long or you can anticipate it for so long, but you can't really do it as quick as he's doing it. So you're always going to be reactive. You're never going to shut him off. Like, I think Vargas did a really good job of being active in terms of throwing light combinations and being light on his feet and trying to track Bam whenever he tried to turn that corner. But Bam is really, dexterous in that scenario. As soon as he gets half a step on that pivot, he's got so many options. And, it doesn't look as if he's loading up on anything. His jab looks particularly heavy. And the shot that scored the first knockdown was an entire body rotation. It wasn't this big, stiff, heavy hand. It was just biomechanically correct. And I think he's got that in his favor against most fighters. But as you alluded to, I think Inoue is just so fast, so explosive, fantastic chin, brave, adventurous. I think Bam would be a step behind there because I don't think he would find those little pockets to kind of take a step away and bounce on his feet and then go again. I think Inoue just shutting that shit down quick time. But yeah, really impressive performance from Bam, actually. I always Yeah, I think last night was the first time I've watched one of his fights where I kind of understood his game. Like I've watched him before, and I didn't really get how he was doing what he was doing. But yesterday, maybe because Vargas did such a good job of negating some of his strengths, I kind of understood his game plan a little bit more. And yeah, against Inoue, it's probably the fight to make. And it's good that Inoue is not the massive. He's not naturally bigger. He's gone through a similar ascension in the weights that Bam has. So in that sense, it'd probably be more of an even fight size-wise, at least hopefully. But yeah, that's clearly the fight to make next.
Yeah, I want one more fight in between. I just do. I think there's a way to make it happen. And also, Inoue says he basically wants to take the rest of the year off as well. If we do see him, it's going to be late in the year. And Bam seems to try to stay active, give or take, especially the champions these days. I mean, you get 2 fights a year out of these guys. It's almost impressive.
Well, that's sad in itself. Inoue is like, I fought in May or April, but I need the rest of the year off. That's what boxing is now. Like, I need the rest of this year off. That's just what boxing is now. It's been that for a long time, but it's still like, come on, man.
Well, they make so much fucking money. It's not like anyone has to get back out or anything like
but still,
that.
for us as fans and like the way it used to be, it's like you wouldn't hear a boxer say, "Oh, I'm gonna take off. I want a big fight. I'll see it in about a year and a half."
You know, could they even fight more regularly? Like, you know how much time it takes for a big promotion to get up and running? Like, promotionally or logistically, would that even be viable?
Well, it's because the guaranteed purses and stuff that they have now, and it's the fact that they once upon a time, like they just, like, your mandatories happen. They put it in a smaller venue, and away the fighters go. They win that and head on to the next one. But now that these guys have such large guarantees and they try to make everything into an event, then it does require so much more than it used to. I mean, there's umpteen, venues that can seat 7,000-8,000 people throughout the country in boxing rich areas. And there's only a handful of places that are the appropriate size for larger boxing events, sans the stadium fights. And so, yeah, I mean, that forces them into like this situation where they feel like they have to create so much, but it all stems from these impossible purses. Like, the reason guys like Julio Cesar Chavez had the records they had is because they fight 7-8 times a year still when they were, good fighters, champions, next to the level of champions. Not everything was a title fight. They take catchweight fights against dudes just on cards, and that's gone. And it's just I don't know how to fix that. Like, the only real way to fix it is to cut fighters' salaries substantially, because then it's just an economics thing. But the way it stands right now, there's nothing to push these guys to want more.
Well, it's like Randall Bailey would fight a couple of like HBO cards, and then he would go fight like at his home gym in like Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah.
And like that's like, you look on his record, he would fight like 2 name guys on like ESPN cards or something. And then you would look on his record, he would be fighting at like the Johnson Civic Center high school gym / swim, whatever the hell he was fighting at, fighting like a 12 and 12 guy. Like, that's just some people guys are like that.
Because he had a name. They put him in against a 6-rounder, and it's going to be nothing more than a sparring session to him. And instead of paying money to make sparring happen, he's getting paid.
Yes.
Fucking perfect idea. Why wouldn't you do that?
We need to do a special. We need to do like a 30-minute special on Randall Bailey. I don't think people appreciate how fucking fun Randall Bailey was. But that's another.
The only time I saw Randall Bailey was I think he beat
Mike Jones when he knocked him out.
Yeah, that's the only fight.
That's what everybody remembers. But he fought everybody. It was funny. Oh God, I'm gonna get on this tangent, but they brought him over to Europe like 3 times to be an opponent, and he knocked the guy out like in the first round. Like, he was just supposed to like not win. He just went out there and just killed these guys. There's not many guys like him
at a certain level. Randall Bailey would just run guys over. Because he was such a massive puncher. The problem was beyond that level, he spent too much time looking for the perfect fucking punch and kept it holstered.
If you were I would say sometimes A+. He can't touch you. Anybody below that, he's knocking you out.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Anyway, I love Randall Bailey. We'll talk
Yeah.
about him some other time.
But anyway, Bam Rodriguez is better than Randall Bailey. Not as good of a puncher as he is.
Hey,
but,
I don't.
he's,
I'd argue with that.
Yeah, well, you can argue with the wall on that one. But yeah, it's just where does this guy go from here? It seems like he's on a collision course with Inoue. How that concludes, I mean, most people seem to be pretty certain that it ends with Inoue winning by a knockout, or at least winning. But I'm not committed to that yet. If I had to set the odds myself, I'd say Bam should be paying 3-1, 7-2 as the underdog. I kind of situate him in that kind of area. To give you an idea, Ricky Hatton was a little less than 2-1 at times when the market moved against Floyd Mayweather. So I don't think it's that fucking stupid. Does Bam Rodriguez have a better chance to beat Inoue than Hatton had to beat Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah,
he does. He definitely. If Bam beats Inoue, there's not going to be anybody that says they were shocked. Put it that way. Nobody can say that. Nobody can say,
"Oh,
God,
yeah."
Yeah,
nobody can say.
You wouldn't call it an upset, would you? Really?
Yeah, there will be people that, but like you said, but anybody that knows boxing could never say, "Oh, I can't believe that Bam Rodriguez won that fight." No, nobody would be stunned if he went out there. Now, knocked him out, yes, but beat Inoue, no, I would not be stunned because we love Bam on here. I would not be stunned or even really surprised if he won.
Well, it wouldn't be like a historic upset, and part of the reason why I refuse to think that he's out in this fight is before the bell rings. I mean, Inoue is a hell of a puncher. Like punching power, yeah, that advantage goes to Inoue. I wouldn't even try to argue against that. But they started around the same weights. Like neither of them are huge guys. It's not like like a Lomachenko fighting a true 135 pounder and being dwarfed by him.
It's not like Bam going to fight Shakur.
It's not like Bam going to fight Shakur.
It's not that size difference, no.
Yeah. It's or even like if Shakur had fought like Crawford. I mean that like it's not even that. It's not like Pacquiao moving up to fight De La Hoya either.
Don't you think Inoue has become more explosive as he's gone up the weights? Maybe he topped out at like 118, whereas Bam, he's not like the same kind of explosive fighter as Inoue is, and I think he's really hit his physical peak at the weight he's at now. I think
Bam has like 6 or 7 knockouts in a row.
Yeah, I think Bam is at his ceiling now. Like judging from the way Vargas was able to absorb some of the shots he was landing. Like he was landing clean all night, realistically. Even though Vargas, I thought he won 3 of the rounds, probably 2 or 3 of the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
He was absorbing a lot and walking through it, even though he eventually got cleaned out. Like I think Bam is at his ceiling in terms of how heavy his hands are. Even though I think he's got good punching power, but in terms of bigger opponents, larger opponents,
But he doesn't have to knock out Inoue to beat him.
No.
Yeah, I do think that's kind of his only shot, though. I can't really see him tip.
No. I will tell you this: if you're right that Inoue beats Rodriguez, he is going to do it by stoppage, coming from behind. That's what I'll tell you right now.
For sure, because he's not going to get the chance to. Well, he won't have the time. He won't be allowed the space to work those angles and get little combinations off, and then sneak in a big shot. Like Inoue is going to be nowhere near that. He's coming in from the outside and he's blasting through his opponent. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if we're lucky, Inoue will decide, you know what? Let's fight at the San Antonio Alamo Dome,
So
and we all get to go.
Yeah,
that's what it holds. It holds like 60 or 70,000. That's where we need to go. That's where it needs to be, so we get to see it.
Yeah, or Cowboy Stadium too. Like, yeah, that's where I saw the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson facade. And saw Amanda Serrano get robbed. A lot of saw Mike Tyson's ass, 57-year-old ass cheeks on the fucking gigantic screen at Cowboy Stadium.
But now we can actually get to the real fight on that card.
Oh, are you talking about the Turkish chick?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's the one I was.
No, it was. I know the one you're talking about. Let's see. Yeah, because the fight on the undercard of this one was actually pretty good. The
one of
Coleman-
the rounds of the year, I think it was at round 5, was an awesome round.
yeah. What the hell are the guys' names? I need to look.
Cardenas versus Cardenas versus Martinez.
Martinez, yeah, Jordan Martinez, and I can't remember Cardenas' first name, but yeah, it was a rematch of a fight from I think in February that went to a draw, which was and it was very competitive. And the guys coming into this, both of them wanting to prove that they got the upper hand in the first one, and it was really close the first 5-6 rounds and a good back and forth affair. Both guys landed really solid shots throughout. Some good uppercuts from Cardenas in particular. I thought that Martinez did most of his better work with straights to the body, but some hard shots landed there. But it's just Cardenas figured something out in there, and he basically just bossed the last half of the fight, and won it pretty wide. But the first 5 rounds, kind of like in Bam versus Vargas, it really entertaining high level shit with lots of clean shots and some shifts in momentum. But then the other guy just took over. Bam did it by knockout. Cardenas did it by just taking rounds. But it was a good fight, Justin. I mean, so basically these guys have given 20 rounds to us, and I would say probably 14 of them have been highly competitive.
I think the styles just, we always say this, they could probably fight 10 times and every fight would be pretty much like this. I think Cardenas took over because if you notice in the first 5 rounds, I think he was landing the heavier shots. He was going to the body more, and I think he just started to wear Martinez down. And then his just energy, he did not stop. He kept up his pace. Martinez had to start to slow a little bit. I think just because he couldn't keep up with that pace, and he was taking the more punishment. And Cardenas looked great. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He's got the Garcia team again. Say what you want to about them, but their fighters are always in shape, and they're always ready. And I think Martinez wore himself out, though, because it took him about 45 minutes to actually get to the fucking ring.
Yeah,
he danced for at least 18 minutes, it seemed like, where he was definitely living up his moment, because he wasn't even supposed to win. He wasn't even supposed to draw in the first fight. So he was definitely living up the moment. But that was a good fight if nobody watched it. Cardenas, I like to see both of them again, but I definitely want to see Cardenas fight again. He just has that style that I think he's always going to be in fights like that.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think his style is really fun, but I also think he doesn't quite have the power he needs.
No, not for that style. He doesn't.
It's going to get him in trouble here soon.
Unless Martinez just has a really good chin.
Well, the record is. I think he's like Cardenas is like 18-0 or 18-0-1 with 9 knockouts now. So he's not a particularly savage puncher.
He peppers you.
He does
more than actually like laying you out.
Yes, he peppers you. He does not salt.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, let's. We'll go to I want to go to this actual card here because I feel like I caught 2 more fights off that. Maybe I just caught the chick fight. Seeing if anything rings a bell. This boxer weaves around asking me if I'm a real human being. Yes, I was. Last I checked. Let's see. This is. As Alex Jones says, "Got hot blood pumped through my veins."
Does BoxRec make you log in like every 5 seconds? It does.
No, but
if I log out, it won't let me search for about 30 minutes because I like looking up the old names, like Sailor John Johnson. I like looking up the old like dudes, and it makes me sign out all the fucking time or sign in.
Yeah, I think I got this Terraza Rodriguez fight.
That was a good. I'm glad Terraza won because the other guy looked like a fucking fool.
Yeah,
dumbass hair. So I'm glad Terraza whatever gave him the kiss. Like it was, but Terraza, the guy he was fighting, I can't remember his fucking name.
Adrian Rodriguez.
Horrible defense.
Very
horrible.
So he got knocked out in 2 rounds.
Yeah, he just come in, his gloves like kind of just hanging, his head leaned over, and Terraza just like fuck it, I'll take that. He could not miss. That guy, he was a little pudgy. Like you could tell he probably needed to be a weight class lower because he had a lot of hanging skin. And Terraza just beat the shit out of him. He should never been in the ring with Terraza. I like the looks of Terraza. He just did what you're supposed to do with a guy who comes in looking like that, and it was really bad form. I don't know how that guy made it this far. Everything he did was awful. The way he threw punches was telegraphed. His defense, it was pitiful. All of it was pitiful. It was sad. Like, come on, man. You're on DAZN, whatever you think about DAZN, but you're on national, whatever. I don't even know what to call it, national TV. You're wherever the fuck you are.
You're streaming to dozens of people across the globe, so you bring your fucking A game.
You went out and paid like $1,000 or something probably to get that dumbass hair, like leopard cheetah hairdo. You probably paid at least $200 for that, and you look like a fucking fool. So yeah, that was Terraza. I don't know if they had some kind of feud, because Terraza took that win personal. I mean, you could tell it was like it meant a lot to him to whoop that little chubby guy's ass. So I don't know if that was some kind of rivalry or that guy had said something about his mom, but he took it personal to beat the shit out of that little chunky guy.
Sometimes people just plainly don't like each other.
That's true.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't like me, and that's okay.
I can see that.
I don't like them either. They can fuck off.
I could definitely see that.
You know, aside from people who have religious reasons, I'll leave them aside. If you don't like bacon, dogs, or Dolly Parton, I don't trust you off the get-go. You know, like, so my enemies list is
Parton, I like Dolly Parton.
Hey, yeah. But who could say anything bad about Dolly Parton? Like, that's the point. Like, God.
I think that is like the best thing in the world. That would be like a fantasy. Have you ever seen a young Dolly Parton?
Of course I've seen young Dolly Parton.
Could you imagine being with a young Dolly Parton eating a big ass hamburger with bacon on it? That's the life. That's it.
I'm worried what you're gonna do with the dog, though.
She'll figure it out. Dolly Parton got around. Dolly Parton got around. If you remember the stories about her, she was she shaked and baked a little bit in her younger days. Probably still does now. I don't
know his name, man.
Don't be speaking ill about Dolly on this show, sir. Anyhow,
she knows. I've been a Dolly.
Anyhow, the only other fight on that card was a chick fight with the Turkish puncher Elif Nur Turhan taking on 19-year-old Gabriela Teaz, who, despite the loss at 19, you got to see her maybe coming back off of that, because I thought she fought damn well. It could have very well been a draw. Turhan definitely just a little bit of a better puncher, but Teaz much straighter shots and a very mature performance for a 19-year-old going into a world title contest. I mean, that was the eighth fight of Teaz's career, and she performed very, very well against kind of a chick, because of her punching prowess, is kind of a little bit of a boogie woman in the division. So gotta show some love to Gabrielle Teaz. Elif Nur Turhan moves on with her title. There was some other shit that happened. I didn't watch any of it. I don't care. But there was the Eddie Hall and Jake Paul fight, I didn't watch that, even though I have a soft spot for Eddie Hall. Like, I like the strongmen. I think they're an interesting group of people. I think I've mentioned before, Brian Shaw, he grew up like 10, 15 minutes from here. Him and Eddie are good pals, so I'm always, catching them in each other's reels and shit. And I just think Eddie Hall is a good guy. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe somebody that has something else to say. But James took it upon himself to watch this. A glutton for punishment.
He doesn't watch a lot of the other boxing we talk about each
week.
He watched
James, you watched this, didn't you?
I watched the entire Misfits card.
Oh, please do tell us about it. We never get Misfits coverage.
I'm happy to discuss it on whatever level you would like to. Philosophically, I'm not opposed to a venture like this. It's entertainment. It's like popular online personalities getting together, trying to attract as much attention as possible, and hopefully having a good fight. That, in principle, Misfits works. Last night was atrocious in terms of the quality of the fights, in terms of how they were talking about it. Even the DAZN commentary team didn't know what was going on a lot of the time. So, for instance, there were two heavyweights fighting each other, and they decided that they weren't going to punch each other in the face for the entirety of their bout. And one of these guys has an online persona as the hardest man in the UK. And despite making a deal with his opponent not to punch each other in the face, he still ended up with several cuts and a bruised face. So that speaks to the level of skill that some of these people are operating on. By the time the main event came around, it was well past midnight, I think, and I was drifting off. The main event was good in terms of David versus Goliath, that kind of dynamic. It was entertaining for the first 2 rounds until Eddie Hall ran out of gas, and then Tommy Fury started landing just enough to get by in what I suppose is an exhibition. That there's actually no need to be that circumspect. It might have been sanctioned as a pro bout, but nobody's looking at this as a step forward into your title aspirations. Like, this occupies a separate space in the boxing landscape. It was confusing, man. Like, in a lot of ways. I suppose it's because I'm not in touch with a lot of what's going on online. Like, I only see Adrian Broner's live streams, and I've seen Big Stacks a couple of times. But other than that, I had no clue who any of these people were or why I should care about why they're fighting. It was just bizarre overall. Did you see any highlights or anything at all from this card that you thought might be noteworthy?
No, I saw nothing. I just heard that Tommy won by majority decision.
I didn't even know it was on until James said it's on. So
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I think one bout that I've left out actually of that summation was between a guy who's called the Ibiza Final Boss. Have you heard of this person?
The what?
Do you know where Ibiza is? It's like a holiday destination for Brits.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's in the Mediterranean, and people go there to commit horrible mistakes in their late teens. So this guy is filmed as a certain, persona, and people started calling him the Ibiza Final Boss, and he got a online presence from that alone. And then he fought an ex-rapper / criminal, and who was biting and headbutting throughout the whole fight, and nothing got called, and nobody was in control of anything, and everything was fine because everyone got clicks. And yeah, I don't know. It's just it was all about attention. I think the whole thing was just about attention. It didn't really matter about who was fighting and who did well or whatever. It was quite dispiriting, actually. Now that I think about it.
It sounds just very endemic of the modern era, where people think that they should be praised just because they exist and they're doing something, not because they're talented or good.
Yeah, like there was one female fighter earlier in the card who came out to simply the best, and then she had a 4-round fight, 2 minutes per round, and then she was talking about how much she's grinded in the game. I've put on an absolute clinic, and like this kind of language that's accompanying like pretty basic athletic endeavors, and it's mad, man. I feel like these people are being pumped up beyond their imaginations. They're not really doing anything that special. It's all about the entrances and the post-fight interviews. I don't think it's good for these people's egos, because if they were ever to find their way into serious competition, they will get a really bad, it'd be a rude awakening, realistically.
Well, and I feel like
that's a bar, they'd get knocked out.
I feel like that's the end result of all this, is they're going to get this grand idea of, let's do a Misfits champion versus like one of like a regular boxing promoter stable, and we'll set up like a 5-on-5 kind of thing, because it's the logical conclusion of this. And you could just lump all your money on the boxing promoters' sides of things, because it doesn't matter who they throw in there. They could have their fucking 5 and 25 journeymen in there. They're gonna beat the shit out of these Misfits people.
Matt, you're wrong about that. There's no way any promoter would get involved in that.
You act like they have no shame.
There's no way they would take the money for that. They would they're a little bit higher standards and get involved in something like that. Come on,
moral high ground for sure.
Yeah, they would. They're not going to touch that. They're not going to touch anything like that. They could put. I mean, that's too much.
It's coming, folks.
Liam Cameron would knock out Tommy Fury.
Probably.
That's a good shout. Like Tommy
David
Fury.
Cameron might knock out Tommy Fury.
Chantel Cameron might knock out Tommy Fury. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's odd. Everything about it's so odd. Like, I think, to be fair, Tommy Fury has probably played a really clever hand in terms of
He has. God, he has.
And similarly, like Campbell Hatton came out towards the end of the broadcast, and he's now a Misfits fighter. I think this is the perfect place for him as well.
He still won't get a knockout.
Yeah, probably not. But he can. The kind of the pageantry that's associated with the Hatton name, he can come out as the main event in a Misfits card 2 years from now, and it can be Blue Moon, this, that, and the other.
Yes.
And he's never realistically going to get anywhere near a world championship, but he can still enjoy the fruits of what his dad did. And he's not really going to be in any kind of danger, realistically.
You know what sucks for him, though? If he had any talent, he would be one of the most popular UK fighters if he was good because of his dad. He would be everywhere. He just sucks.
Yeah, of course. And the thing
that's the problem. That's the problem. He just sucks. Like, Ben sucks, but Ben is like, at least Ben has some ability. And Ben has none.
Ben is way better than Campbell, like way better.
Yeah, that's the point.
Like, he's not the big banger that post egg career would suggest. That he still has decent head movement. He can still do a lot of basic things that he couldn't do earlier in his career. He's definitely developed, and he's got a good chin in his game. Blah blah blah. Campbell Hatton has none of the athleticism that his dad had. Do you know what I mean? He's got no foundational blocks to build on, so he's fucked really, isn't he?
Well, I think if you talk about Tommy Fury, he is like, I know this sounds stupid. He's done what Ben has done. He took a name, his brother's name, he took that, and he's made millions off of it, sort of like how Ben took his dad's name. It's just not as much money as Ben made, a lower level. But it's the same exact playbook. Take somebody else's name that you didn't earn. You didn't earn the right to have that name, but you're going to ride the coattails. And he has rode that shit to a hot wife and millions of dollars. Hey, good on him. Fuck it. If people are grifters. That's the way life is. The people I can't stand are the ones that watch Misfit Boxing. We got a guy on here called, I think his name's James, who watched the whole card. Those are the people you have to watch out for. The ones that watch the whole card.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Those are the ones I can't stand. Those are the guys you gotta be careful, leery of. Are the ones that watch the whole card.
But I hate to do this, but I have to say that Conor Benn would have got nowhere near those £30 million paydays if it wasn't for Eddie Hearn. He's the only person making that happen. So I know I enjoy taking the piss out of Eddie Hearn as much as anyone, but credit where it's due, man.
Hey, if I turned over boxing tomorrow, and let's say I was younger, I mean, I'm an old dude now. You're stupid if you don't take Eddie Hearn as your promoter. He gets it done. He gets it done. If you ride with him and he believes in you, you're going to get paid, regardless of how talent level you have. We've said that for years. You're going to get paid. He's going to make it happen for you. If he believes in you, you got it made. And I mean, no matter what you think about him, it's done.
There you go. And speaking of done, I hope it will be done. Because this shit's terrible. But James, we really appreciate your contribution. I mean, that's some serious stuff. I mean, it's not like going to fight in Afghanistan in the fall of 2001 level of sacrifice, but like a step below that. So we appreciate what you did.
I certainly feel that way.
That'd be a pretty tough card. That'd be a pretty tough card.
3 tours of Fallujah, mate.
The Afghani war card. I don't know how you get on that one.
So anyhow, should we do our previews for that? Let's go to do previews first. Let's do previews. I don't. There's nothing fucking else that matters, and then we'll get into our fun side stuff. And maybe Rob will be here by then. Maybe he won't. Maybe Des will be here. Maybe he won't. Who knows? Life's a mystery. I just live it. We're not going to be here next week. I'm actually going to be out of town. I guess if Steve wants to host, they'll be here next week. But
I won't be here next week either. I'll be at a random park in Hampton, Virginia, so I won't be here next
there
week.
you go. I will also be celebrating Juneteenth in Western Colorado.
Yeah.
But let's go through this the good old schedule, and there's going to be a fight towards the tail end in these 2 weeks that will definitely want to cue in. But these are just some things that are happening. Ashton Silve now at 140 pounds, taking on Jojo Diaz, who is now at 140 pounds. He's been between 135, 147, 140, 140. Yeah, he's 140 for this one. Still hasn't been knocked out in this late career journey of being brought in as an opponent, but he's cashing checks every 3 months. Nothing else on there to mention. Maybe one day they'll be worth mentioning. Gonna have a card out in Oceanside, California. Featuring Oscar Collazo versus Joey Noy. And I also think that Ricardo Sandoval is defending his titles on there because Yafai was injured. Can't remember if it was against anyone of consequence. But I did not recall thinking that I saw that and believed he would lose that fight. So Collazo, always worth the watch. Kanoe, don't know much about him. I would say Collazo is the only person with better footwork than him in the sport on recent performances is actually Bam. So he's a hell of a fighter. Don't dismiss the little guys. Here's one to talk about. Going to be very curious how this goes. Lewis Crocker and Liam Perro for Crocker's title that he won in that rematch, or that he had in the 2 fights against Patty Donovan, strange as both of them were. We're also going to see Liam Wilson on there against Alexandru Marin, Dempsey McKean against Liam Talava, and probably no one else I care about. So anyhow, we will just focus in on that Crocker and Perro fight. I'll tell you what, Justin, I tend to lean Perro, but I don't know. Like, I honestly have no concrete opinion about this fight and how it may go whatsoever.
I'm with you on that one. It's hard to say it's 50-50, but let's go 55-45. Perro, I think. I think Perro has more to his game than Crocker does, but Crocker has shown that he's tough. He can stick to a game plan. I hadn't really thought about this with that much. I'll have to think about it a little bit more. I lean Perro, but I'm not going to be surprised how any decision in this fight wouldn't surprise me. I'll put it that way. I don't think I'd be surprised with any way it ended, honestly. I just think Perro has a little bit more to his game than Crocker does. But
the only thing that would probably surprise me would be Crocker stopping Perro.
Yeah, that would be.
I could see any other outcome reasonably easily. That not so much. Crocker is paying just a smidge over even money. What would that be? 11-10, I think, is how that would work out. Yeah, it's a really close fight with the books. I can't make heads or tails of it. Justin's up in the air. Do you have any strong feelings on this one there, James?
Perro beat Mateus, didn't he? Is that the same?
Yeah, that is, yeah. He beat Matias, and then he lost his belt to Richardson Hitchens.
That's right, yeah. So I feel like this is a fight between two boxers who are like not the most athletically gifted, I would say. Like Crocker got his fucking head boxed off him, didn't he, in the first fight with Donovan?
Yeah, very much so.
And then he came back with a very specific, potentially risky game plan in terms of looking for single big shots, and ended up getting the title. Perro, did a good job of diffusing what people at the time thought was a bit of a boogeyman. Just kept him turning, kept hands on him all night. I don't know. There's not something that you can look at both of them and be like, oh, they do that thing particularly well. My impression of both of these fighters is that they've had a very specific game plan for their biggest wins, and that's what's got them through. But in terms of judging them against each other, I'd be at a loss, really. I would potentially lean towards Crocker, but not with any conviction, really.
Yeah, and the books have him just a slight underdog. I mean, they're not going really hard one way or the other.
And you can't look at that Hitchens loss because let's just put it this way: Crocker is about 5,000 miles away from having the ability Hitchens does.
Yeah, he can't box like Hitchens.
Hitchens can turn anybody off, and that's what he did versus Paro. Crocker can't do that.
No,
he's not going to be able to turn off Paro. That's where I lean Paro because you might think Hitchens is boring, and he is. He is like watching molasses run down a wall. I mean, it's just not the most entertaining. But he can he could turn anybody off. Crocker absolutely does not have that ability, and if he tries to wait for one big shot versus Paro, he's going to get hurt. He's not. That's what Paro wants. Paro is happily if he wants to sit back and try to land one big shot because he'll just outwork him if that's what he wants to do.
That could be the case.
But actually, yeah. I'm leaning more and more Paro that fight anyway.
As he's thinking, yeah, and that's going to be mid-week next week
don't sleep on the Diaz-Seal fight because Jojo Diaz, whatever he is and whatever he looks like and whatever he does, he's still relatively entertaining fights. That's going to be a better fight than people think it'll be.
Yeah, you might be right. He sure did give Regis Prograis a hell of a fight. Hurt him far more than Connor Bender.
But I'm saying if Diaz loses the Seal, he's got to call it a day though. That's it. This is if he can't beat Seal sucks. As far as like,
he's not that bad.
He's not good though. And Jojo, I just think Jojo Diaz should be better than him. Even this version of Jojo Diaz, he has to win this fight, or he might want to just think, you know what, let me end this.
I just like the Golem Boy just like keeps getting him paid, and he just keeps realizing.
They love
to be a champion. He's just gonna keep fighting people.
Oscar loves Jojo Diaz. You're right. He's going to keep, as long as he wants to keep fighting, Oscar is going to keep slinging him out every year, as long as he wants to keep going. That because you remember Jojo has been with Oscar for a very long time.
Oh yeah,
that was like he signed him as an Olympian, like even before he was still in the Olympics. And Golden Boy was talking about him. That is his guy. There's no doubt about that. No matter that Jojo Diaz was trying to pick up like a 14-year-old girl. Allegedly.
That is wrong.
Well, Oscar. Well, I don't think Oscar cares about morals, about that kind of stuff. Allegedly, but we'll see. We'll see. But that's going to be a little bit better fight. But like I said, Paro should win and Diaz should win. Dempsey, McKean. I mean, Australia. They love their. In Australia, if you do anything decent, you're going to be on a card the rest of your life until you die.
Yeah.
They're going to keep throwing you out there. That's just how it works.
Yeah. That's what they do. See here. What else? Can I have do I want to talk about? I don't know what to say about this. I don't know what opinion I should have. But from Athens, Greece on the 27th, there's going to be an exhibition between Floyd Mayweather and apparently kickboxing great Mike Zambidis. I know nothing about Mike Zambidis, but is Mike going to Zambidis Mayweather?
What happened to Pacquiao, man?
That's supposed to be in September.
Oh, so it's a tune-up for the tune-up, is it?
I think it's to pay his IRS bill.
Yeah, this is because
you're saying Floyd's got money problems.
He sure does, James.
I think Greece over the years, since the whole country went bankrupt, I think they're pretty loose on the whole financial situation. So this is a good place for Floyd to make a few money that nobody knows about.
Yeah,
just a pocket. I've never heard of Mike Zambinas. I think Floyd. I don't know if he'll make him cry like he did the other kickboxer, but we know Floyd at this point of his life. This is. I don't even think that's it. I think this is already decision's already been decided before they even show up.
So Mike Zambitas is 45 years old.
So he's in his prime then.
He is an 18-time world champion, including former world version W5 Super Combat and in a series of K1 and Grand Prix. He mostly competed in K1 Max, where he scored mostly knockouts. That's the Wikipedia version.
Well, I'm rooting for Zambitas. I won't watch it, but that'd be great if he won.
I want Floyd versus Andrew Tate. That's what I want. That'd be pretty sweet.
It'll probably happen.
That's pretty impressive. His kickboxing record is 181-24.
Yeah, because kickboxing is like they don't go like 10 or 12 rounds, so you can fight a lot of. You can fight. They got like 4, 6, 8. You can fight a lot of fights.
Yeah, and let's see here. The last time, so he's been out of the kickboxing ring since 2015.
So he's fresh.
When he won the Iron Challenge.
Yeah, he's fresh. I'm sure he stayed up with his training, and he's just
ready always ready every night. Life is a training camp.
I love how Floyd just can find these random ass dudes to fight in exhibitions that nobody's ever heard of. It's just, hey, he's a master at that. Not paying his taxes, but finding random fucking dudes. He can do that.
Yeah, it's quite odd that he's quite strategic in terms of who his opponents are, and he cannot put pen to paper in terms of siphoning off a percentage of his income. It's really strange.
It's the paperwork's harder over here for that kind of stuff. It's really complicated for Floyd. That's why you can't do all that stuff. I mean, Floyd. Could you imagine Floyd filling out his tax return? Well, the IRS can't imagine that because he doesn't do it. But I would imagine he would have a pretty hard time doing that.
Well,
he's going to be a greeter in Las Vegas soon, I think, doing heroin on the side.
Going through these names on this guy's kickboxing record, seeing if I recognize any. I don't know enough kickboxing to matter. Yeah,
should we start like a kickboxing asylum? Break down all the K1 fights.
I have no idea what we should do. Do you have any? Do you know who John Wayne Parr is? Does that name ring a bell to you?
No, I actually do.
Okay. Well, he's beat him a couple times. He's lost to him a couple of times.
He must have fought on a misfit card sometime then, because James.
He was on Joe Rogan a good few years ago. Yeah, I think he's an Australian kickboxer.
John Wayne Parr.
Yeah. That's the extent of my familiarity with him. I think I've watched one of his fights, but yeah, couldn't say much.
Yeah. I know nothing of the man and his work. Oh, excuse me, I gotta sneeze.
It could be John Wayne Parr, the clown or the killer. Try to go with something like that.
Or John Wayne Gacy is what you
said. Yeah, try to use the name. That is something I would name my kid after. So maybe his parents are like me, the sicko shit.
Well, once we get onto this Ultimate Criminals for 666, Tony Ayala Jr. is actually operating like a killer clown, man. For real.
That's when I wish like Dahmer was like a Golden Gloves champ. We could have thrown him on the list.
Damn it. Well, let's see here. We got one more to go of these previews. Thank you for working with me through my sneeze. Where the hell did my goddamn internet page go? Anyhow. Oh, that's right. I was looking at Mike Zambitas. Let's see here. So this is the one that matters, though. It could have gone a different way, but as the negotiations wandered away, it ended up being Xander Zayas who got the shot against Jerome Ennis. Virgil Ortiz deciding arbitration is a better way to make money, I guess. They're going to be going at it at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Also on that card, Ben Whitaker making the trek over, fighting Richard Rivera. Some of us might remember Rivera fighting Badu Jack and then dressing like Popeye as the decision was read. He gave Jack a good fight. Actually could have won that.
I do remember I don't remember the fight, but I remember the Popeye shit.
Jai Tucker versus Yuri Cedeno. At middleweight there, and the best of the Vargas kids, Emiliano taking on Bryce Mills at 140 pounds over 10. So I'll tell you what, I'll head over to James this. Why don't you take the lead? What do you think about Ben Whitaker coming over here to the States? Do you think that he's obviously a cocky guy with some personality. Do you think that their efforts to turn him into a star over here could be successful, or is he just not the guy?
I think that he looks like he's trying quite hard all the time. I'm not quite sure how that would translate in terms of his profile because ultimately, if you win fights and you're pushed, you will become famous. I think he's got enough kind of flash and sizzle about him that he can be successful in that way. But I'm thinking about his early career and how much he used to mess about and the Emmanuel Burton drunken master type stuff. And then you saw the version of him against Liam Cameron, who seemed to be taking it a lot more seriously, but came undone against somebody who was just able to absorb his power. But then that was kind of undone again when he got with Andy Lee and he became like a sharpshooter. Tommy Hearns, straight jabs, big right hands. So he's gone quite a few like iterations already in his career. I'm not quite sure if you will see the approximation of Naz, that you saw in Whitaker's early career. I think if he did, he'd be much more of a star. He would make much more of a splash. Now, I think it's just important for him to get the win, and then they can talk about how he went to the US and he broke the States and he fought where he fought and in front of these many fans. It's all about the narrative for him right now. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I just think he's going to act a fool in the ring and get his ass knocked out. Not this fight necessarily, but that's
yeah,
just
eventually, I think that potentially, I think if his early career antics carry on, then that is what will happen. But I see a much more serious version under Andy Lee, and you'd be a fool to waste those attributes. Like he's tall, he's long, he's fast, he's got great reactions, he's got good balance, good speed. You don't have to get stuck in there and try and fight everyone and prove anything. Fight to your strengths. That might be a little bit boring at times, like we were talking about Richardson, Hitchens earlier. Play to your strengths, and then after that, it's all about the story. And if you've got the promotional machine behind you, it will happen for sure.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think, like, God, when did he fight Badu Jack? So I went and looked at Richard Rivera's resume. We're going on 4 years, people. That was in August of 2022. It feels just like yesterday. Since then, our friend Mr. Rivera has lost a majority decision to the still undefeated Luis Antonio Tejeda. I believe he is Dominican. Mr. Rivera went and fought him at home, losing that majority decision at the Coco Locos Restaurant Sports Bar. So yeah, I assume that might have been all on the up and up on those scorecards. Rivera's going to come to fight is basically all I'm trying to say, guys. At the age of 35, it's going to be his last chance. After that fight against Badu Jack, he kind of struggled to find a decent fight, stayed active, did what he could. But this is going to be last chance hotel for this guy if he doesn't at least lose in an admirable fashion that makes you want to see him again. So we will see how this goes for Mr. Rivera. Trying to see what else. Jai Tucker and Yuri Cedeno. I did want to see how Mr. Cedeno is 14-0 with 12 knockouts. He is also Dominican. Interesting. And these Dominicans all kind of depends on who they fought. A lot of them haven't fought fucking anybody. And this guy, that's going to take a lot of digging to see if any of these guys are somebody's. But he's amassed his record of 14-0-1 with 12 KOs since October of 2022. So he's been fighting pretty consistently. He had a draw early on against a guy who was just 1-0 at the time and is still 6-0. 6-0 in that draw. He Cuban cat, so interesting. I don't know. Tucker's already lost once. He's rebounded from that. And that was Nicholas Flaws, who's proved himself to be quite a capable fighter. But he's rebounded from that. Had the win over Troy Williamson, which is obviously just looking better over time. these Dominicans are so hot and cold, though. Like, I wouldn't touch this fight as far as betting with a 10-foot pole, to be honest with you. I don't like it at all. Just, yeah, too many unknowns. But so that makes that interesting, though. I'm curious because I legitimately do not know. Emiliano Vargas fighting Bryce Mills, who is 22-1. He's on a hell of a tear here. He hasn't lost since 2021 when he lost a split decision to a guy named Ryan Pino, who was 8-7-2 at the time, and ended up being 17-7-2. And he fought last year. I mean, he hasn't fought anybody of note, but in his victories. But yeah. So, he beat Jason Velez. Well, good for him. The fucking shell of Jason Velez. Let's see. He has a win over Alex Martin. That's not a bad W there as far as Mr. Bryce Mills goes. Trying to remember what fight I saw him in. Might have been Alex Martin. But if Vargas is the guy that they want him to be. Bryce Mills is the kind of capable opponent that he should just run over the top of. So we'll see. But the main event, that's the interesting one. Xander Zayas and Boots Ennis. That's an interesting fight. Again, it could have been Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz decided he wants to fight in the courtroom rather than fight in the ring. So the Puerto Rican is stepping in for him. And I like this fight. Boots is a fairly heavy favorite. I would not discount Vargas. He's a very, very solid fighter, Justin. Or not Vargas Zayas. He's a very, very capable fighter. He's a champion for a reason. The performance he gave in his last fight against that cat who beat Tejas was a Bospero was very solid against a guy that's a better than quote unquote capable pro who brought his own title into the ring. I think that this is going to be 12 rounds and mildly contentious at the end. I think Boots is going to win, but I think there's going to be a little bit of bitching and moaning. Not a lot, but some.
I don't think there's going to be any bitching. I think it's going to be high level stuff because Zayas is really good technically. He does everything pretty well, but Boots is just better at everything. I think Boots wins this 117, 111, 116, 112, maybe even I think he probably even scores maybe a flash knockdown, but I'm not going to say it's not going to be easy by no means. But Boots is going to do what Boots does. Zayas just doesn't do anything well enough to beat Boots. Ennis wins. Like I said, Ennis, I don't think it's going to be contentious. I think he goes out there, does what he does. Zayas is going to put a really damn good effort forward and just come up short. He'll win 3, maybe 4 rounds at most 4 rounds. He won't win any more than that. He's not going to be able to hurt Ennis. He's not going to be able to really knock him off his game like that because Zayas is not really a banger. I think to beat Boots, you've got to have a little bit of everything. You got to be able to knock through a fucking wall. You got to be able to box a little bit. Zayas is a good boxer, but not good enough to beat Boots. This is going to be there's going to be some high level shit. There's going to be some entertaining stuff, but Boots gets this. I hate to say, I'm not going to say easy, but Boots. I don't want to use it comfortable. He's going to be a little comfortable at times. I think he's going to win 116, 111, 117, something like that. I'm not overly. I love Boots and I like Zayas. Boots is just better, and I always go for the guy who's just. Boots is that next level. Zayas is not that next level, and Boots just moves on. Takes the belts, and Zayas will come again. But Zayas has had a slow burn for a long time. Then he's picked it up recently. He doesn't do anything that's going to be able to beat Boots unless Boots just absolutely something we don't know about, an injury we don't know about. Something happened. Boots gets this relatively a decent, relatively comfortable for Boots in my opinion.
See, I don't know, because after watching Patty Donovan beat the shit out out of and drop Karen twice. I know triangle theories don't necessarily work in boxing, but I am not sure that Ennis is at the level that we think he is at, or many have said that he's at. A lot of folks think that he was like the heir to Terrence Crawford, and I don't think that's the case. I think he's a very good fighter, but I don't think he's an A or A plus fighter. I think he's
No, I don't think he's Crawford level, but I think he's higher level than Zayas.
I think it's possible that Zayas is an A minus fighter, and so is Boots, and we're gonna find out in a couple of Saturdays.
That's where we differ. I don't think Zayas is. I wouldn't put an A much beside his name. Maybe a A. You're at A minus. I say B plus. Like if we're great, if he's like at a college, it grades on a curve. So if like 90, so if like 90's an A, then yeah, Zayas is an A fighter. I just think Boots is, for some reason, I don't know why I've thought this for a while. I think Boots is going to come out and shut some people up. I don't know why. I just think that people have really been dogging him pretty hard because of those two Karen fights. I just think Boots is going to shut some people up in New York in a couple of weeks.
We're gonna find out. James, what are your thoughts on this on this fight? Are you feeling it from across the pond? It might be almost as short of a plane trip for you to get there as it would be for me.
I've seen Xander Zayas fight twice, I think, once or twice, and I thought it looked fantastic. And that doesn't mean that he's this amazing fighter. You can catch him on a good night, can't you? Especially after they get above a certain level. I've seen Boots fight 6 or 7 times, and potentially because of the conversations that have been had on this pod, to be honest, this is my primary source of boxing information. Boots is quite highly regarded on this podcast, and I've always felt slightly underwhelmed by watching him, potentially because, he takes a few too many shots, or maybe he's taking more shots than I would expect him to take. I've always seen him win conclusively, but maybe it's my expectation versus the result that I'm dealing with rather than his actual level of quality. I feel like Xander Zayas is a big unit, man. And Boots is always sucking down to 147, but I think Xander will be the bigger guy on the night. Do you favour the younger? I would consider Xander Zayas the more athletically gifted, to be honest with you. Do you favour the younger, more gifted guy, or the more battle-tested guy? It's splitting hairs, really, isn't it? Because I've not seen anything from Boots that I think, wow, that would really undo a fighter like this. He's just super quick on the inside. He's got a good chin, decent enough ability to stay in the pocket. I absolutely agree. He is nowhere near someone like Crawford. Like that idea is, you could be tricked into thinking that he's similar to Crawford, but then you watch what Crawford does to someone like Canelo. I don't think Boots would be able to do a similar job. So.
No, and they're of similar size, similar, just overall dimension. I think if there's one thing that doesn't involve anything that's how you throw a punch, how you dodge a punch, how you move your feet, just away from the technical aspects of anything. If there's one advantage that I would give to Zayas over Boots, it's that Zayas' career, although at times it might have moved a little bit slower than you might think, he's still pretty young. I think he's like 22 or 23, 24, somewhere in there. But he's been on a consistent trajectory where every fight seemed to be a step in the right direction until he gets a title, a unified boom, right? And he was always moving, and there were very little like hiccups and kind of holdups in the road and backing up the truck and things like that. And that's what Boots' career has been. Boots is 28 years old now, which he's not old, but he's older than Zayas is. And he was caught up in a time when too many people didn't want to fight him. too much risk for too little reward. And so his career stagnated, and he waited on the shelf too long between fights, and he didn't get a constantly escalating level of opposition. His last fight, I don't think, was anywhere near his best opponent to date. I think that would be Stanionis, or maybe arguably Ramon Villa. But I just think that because his career has been so much like stop and go traffic, that I think when the moment finally comes, when he's against a dude who can potentially compete with him on a skill level, I think there might be something missing from Boots because he hasn't been there before.
So this is good though. I'm glad we're having this because I just think Boots walks him. I just think I think he knocks Zayas down. I know what you're saying. I said Boots gets a lot of hate for some reason because of the Karen fights, but I'm telling you, Boots beats Zayas. I do not see a world where Zayas beats him. He's going to knock down Zayas at least once. He's going to catch him, and I would not be surprised if he stops him. I just don't think Zayas is that good. I'm a guy who watched Zayas' debut on ESPN.
Oh, I'm with you. I've watched him.
I've watched I think I've seen every fight now. Boots is better at every single thing. And I think Boots has heard a lot of shit. And I'm telling you, he beat Zayas. I don't think this
I'll tell you something that
a
I've
question.
I'll tell you something I've seen from Boots I haven't seen from Zayas. And you tell me if you think I'm right or wrong on this. I've seen Boots get frustrated in the ring. I haven't seen Zayas get frustrated.
But Zayas hasn't fought a lot of guys that are going to frustrate him. That's the issue, I think. It's like
I argue because he was knocking guys out, and then he went on a string of decisions and shit, right? I think getting through that and not having those lapses where you worry about him late in fights, I think that mental fortitude counts for something.
And I think Zayas' haircut though is what's throwing me off too.
Could be
the going blonde. The going blonde with like a helmet head. That's causing me mental issues as well. But I don't know. I like the fact we don't always have to agree, and that's cool because I think Boots is going to put on a show. I just think he's going. Yeah. I think he's going to put on a show.
I don't look at fucking odds on this.
He's going to take those belts from Zayas, and that's it. I just believe
you're pretty fucking confident there, Mr. Justin.
I'm 100% sure that he's going to win. I just don't know how he's going to win.
I can't believe he's still 28 years old. That's pretty mad. I thought I had him in like the lower thirties, really.
Well, Matt said Zayas is 19. He keeps dropping his age down.
No,
he'll be 18. He'll be 18 when this fight comes out.
No, he's 22 or 23, isn't he?
Because he made his debut in Puerto Rico when he was like 16 or 17.
I remember watching him when he was 18 on Top Rank cards, or 17.
Yeah,
he might have been.
He's one of those guys, and he is a good fighter, but he's Top Rank has been so desperate to find the new Cotto. All these guys, and he's the guy they were pushing.
I want the new Cotto, man. He's an absolutely fantastic fighter. But I don't know. The promotional kind of desperation to find somebody to pin a flag to is pretty apparent a lot of the time. Like, you'll never see it more blatantly than over here. So it's not good.
So it's going to be I think it's going to be a good fight. I just think Zayas does some things well. He's going to make it interesting, but Boots gets it. Period.
Zayas is paying 3-1 as the underdog.
Yeah, should be 10-1.
If they lose, it's all the fucking same. It doesn't matter what the fucking odds.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that we'll see. That should be. That's why I love boxing, because you don't really know until you know.
Yeah, and it's a good enough. It's a good fight though. For not getting Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis, this is good.
Like, hey, I don't blame Virgil. He keeps getting paid all this money not to do anything.
Yeah,
he keeps getting paid money sometimes not to do shit. Which eventually, I think Virgil will be a guy that is going to come up short, because you can't just keep pushing your career off and pushing it off.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to get called out by somebody he probably shouldn't lose to, because he fucked off so much with this contract and step aside money. I think that's where Virgil's going to hurt himself. He already has a tough time with the weight. He's already been in the hospital twice. He's going to get called out because he's just kind of I can say we could say that Virgil's kind of fucked his career around a little too much, and he goes to court blaming everybody else for it, but they're not the reason why you went to the hospital and you couldn't make weight. You made that decision. You've made a lot of these calls on your own. That's another whole story of the Virgil Ortiz. He will get called out because you just can't keep pushing shit back and not getting in the ring and then taking a year off for whatever reason. It's going to catch him, no doubt.
All right. Well, we'll find out. But yeah, let's move into evil fuckers in boxing here for episode 666.
Yes,
Justin, why don't you kick it off with one that you found? Because you're better at this than ChatGPT.
Well, I'll make mine quick. I've got 3. 2 of them are really quick. One's funny. I remember reading about this like 3 or 4 years ago. So when you brought this question up the other day, this is the first thing that come to mind. I guess it's a horror for him because he's dead. But there's a boxer in the 70s. His name was Tyrone Everett. He was 24-1. Well, he made a bad decision one afternoon that he was going to have sex with the local transvestite that lived up the street. And
Like
his girlfriend didn't like that idea of him having
sex. What a
sex.
prude.
So she walked in the door, caught them having sex, and shot him in the head, and then tried to shoot the transvestite. So that was not a bad boxer. I just thought it was funny that
Justin, I said horror stories, not horror stories.
So it was just funny the way it was worded. The local transvestite, like I guess he just
the local transvestite. Sally.
So first of all, you should have never gotten with the local transvestite that everybody knew about. But yeah, she walked in the door, shot him in the head, and he's dead now. Then there's we've all heard of Steve Molitor, hadn't we?
Oh yeah, we heard of Steve Molitor,
Canadian champion. He was probably one of their best ever.
Yeah, he lost to Celestino Caballero.
Well, he had
Frampton.
Yep, yeah. Steve Molitor fought a lot of people. He was a really good lower weight fighter. Well, he had a brother named Jeremy. Well, Jeremy was a Commonwealth champion. He was a Commonwealth gold champ. He was a really good amateur. Well, before he turned pro, he decided that he was going to go to this parking lot and stab his girlfriend 58 times. And so he's in jail for murder because I guess, instead of turning pro, he's going to stab his girlfriend 58 fucking times in a parking lot. So he definitely made some wrong decisions in his life. Then there's another Canadian fighter. His name is Mello. Nobody knows this guy. I didn't know him till I looked this up. Because I said, I've heard these. I always like looking up crazy shit. So I remember these shit. But he was an enforcer for the Canadian mob. He was 24-8, and he was still fighting. He was like a journeyman, kind of high-level journeyman cruiserweight. Well, he pissed off the wrong people. They put a hit out on him and shot him and his wife in the head. And they still had never found who put the hit out on him. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, the local transvestite, got a fighter killed. And then Jeremy Molitor, a Commonwealth gold medalist, just stabbed this woman 58 fucking times. At least Monzon got it over with quick. He had to make this girl suffer. But that's the 3 I've got.
Okay. So let's see here. We'll kind of ease it in. Jake LaMotta, he basically beat the shit out of his wife a lot. And was just kind of a dick in that sense.
But that's like, you can name like 97 boxers that beat the shit out of their women.
Yeah, he also admitted to losing on purpose in order to secure a title fight. So that is what it is. Let's see here.
Matt, I read the Raging Bull book years ago, and he also said that he hit somebody over the back of the head with a metal bar, and he didn't realize that he might have killed them until afterwards, and he didn't know if it killed them or not. I imagine that the Bronx in that era was open for that kind of behavior.
Oh, yeah. Rocky Graziano had a movie made about him with Paul Newman, and hell, he did that shit when he was a kid, just attacking people and shit. That just shit happened.
Yeah, feral
yes, and Rocky Graziano, I said Paul Newman made a movie about this guy's life, and it was like a comedy love story. And Rocky Graziano did some crazy shit too. I think, like you said, during that time period, a lot of people did a lot of crazy shit.
Yes, they did. And another one of the evil people in boxing is obviously Don King. And I'm just going to read off the Chat GPT paragraph, like just for the sake of it, if I can. But as I work this through with them, Don King is one of boxing's most influential and controversial promoters. He played a major role in bringing some of boxing's biggest events to global attention, including fights involving Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and many others. However, he has also faced decades of accusations from fighters and associates alleging financial exploitation, coercive contracts, and underpayment. King was also previously convicted of manslaughter-related charges in his earlier life before entering boxing promotion. So Don King killed a guy.
Does it talk about the time he pretended to play Vivaldi on the piano to lure the Klitschko brothers?
Oh yeah. And it was a fucking player piano.
You gotta imagine that. You gotta imagine Don King had some knees broken. He had some shit done to people that just didn't get out there in the world.
Yeah, didn't he kick a man to death for not paying the gambling debt?
Yes, he did. So I imagine that wasn't the first man he's kicked or had kicked to death. Allegedly over the years.
Faceless.
But I mean, think about Don King. Instead of really hurting people, he hurt people. If you want to look at the fact that he ruined lives, so that's why he's evil. He ruined a lot of fucking people's lives. A lot of boxers. Now, you're a grown ass man, and you made that decision to sign with him, but he still fucked him over. So that's what makes him a dirty fucker.
You know what I find particularly enticing about Don King's story is when you hear about Muhammad Ali, who has a contract for maybe $2 million for his next fight, and Don King says, "I'll give you 250 grand in cash," and they take it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's not Don King's fault that people aren't that bright, and that they signed this stuff, and that they
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. You've got your two hands out for that. I'm sorry, but
because after he screwed Tyson over, people kept signing with him.
Yeah,
that's your fault. That's your stupidity. That's your fault.
Like, how does Adrian Broner sign with in 2024?
Nobody else wanted him. I guess that was like desperation, I think, at that point.
But how does Don King get a venue booked? How does that happen? How does he get the beverage?
He's got like one that works with him. He goes like that highlight.
It's like the highlight court, like club area is where he like rents. So yeah, I think they'll give that to anybody. It's like renting out a local like VFW. I think they'll let anybody have it, and he just takes it. I mean, I think I could probably rent out the highlight for an event if I lived in that area. I don't think the highlight has high standards, and when it comes to who's going to have their event. Hell, they got people who die every day playing that fucking sport.
That's a great fucking sport.
They don't care.
Let's see here. We got Frankie Carbo. Frankie Carbo was a major organized crime figure who effectively operated as a behind-the-scenes power in mid-20th century boxing. Tied to the Lachaise crime family, is accused of controlling fighters, influencing rankings, and helping determine who got title shots and who didn't. Carbo's influence was a central focus of U.S. Senate investigations into boxing corruption in the 1950s, which exposed how deeply organized crime had infiltrated the sport. He is widely regarded as one of the most damaging figures in boxing history due to his systemic manipulation of the sport. Also involved with the mob Blinky Palermo, who was born Frank Carbo Jr., but of no relation to Frankie Carbo, interestingly enough, was another organized crime-linked figure who operated boxing management and matchmaking. He was accused of using hidden ownership arrangements to control fighters and siphon their earnings, effectively treating boxers as assets rather than clients. Palermo's activities were part of the broader mob influence over boxing during the mid-20th century, and he was eventually convicted of conspiracy and extortion-related charges.
You know how good that...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. It was a useless sentence after that.
I'm sorry. You know how good those guys were, though, that Primo Carnera actually thought he was a good boxer. You ever read that story about Primo Carnera? He actually thought he was good, and he didn't realize that every fight was fixed. He thought he was actually beating these guys. He was so stupid that it was so corrupt, and he didn't know how corrupt it was. He thought he was actually beating these guys.
Wasn't he just like big and slow? Wasn't he like 7'7", 270, 280 kind of?
There's a book. I'm not sure if it's by Boyd Schulberg, but it's called The Harder They Fall. And it's an approximation of Primo Carnera's experience and about other mob involvement, etc., etc. Yeah.
He was like the you know how we have the everybody's a super heavyweight now. Well, Primo Carnera was a circus performer. And so he was like, he wasn't as big as like you with heavyweights are now, but back then he was fucking massive because he was like 6'4", 6'6", like you said, like 270. And he was like a poor man's Valuev. So he had some ability, but if you read the articles, like
Poor man's Valuev,
yeah,
living in a fucking shack.
So he actually fought like a lot of top guys during that period, and he thought he was actually beating these guys. But come to find out, everybody he fought, they said almost everybody he fought took a dive. And he did not know it because he was like, he just was an intelligent dude. He didn't know what was going on. He thought he was actually the world champion, that he earned the world championship. That's why those guys were so good. And the boxing was so corrupt that they just went and grabbed a circus strongman and made him the heavyweight champion of the world, and nobody blinked a fucking eye.
Well, here's the thing. How far are we away from that kind of scenario?
Not far.
Not honestly.
Eddie Hall. He's basically Eddie Hall of this time period. If they wanted to make Eddie, if it was really corrupt, because Primo fought, like, who did he fight? He fought like Sharky. He fought all these top guys, and the only time that he ever got in a real fight was when he fought who did Cinderella Man beat?
Max Baer, man. Max
Baer, come to find out, really wasn't that corrupt dude. He really wasn't that bad of a guy. The movie made him out to be like a really bad dude. He was not a bad guy, and he was like, I'm going to beat Max Baer was a very honest dude too, and I love Max Baer. He went, I'm going to beat the fuck out of this guy. Like, he sucks. He's never beat anybody. And Max Baer knocked him down like 15 times and beat him. But, Cinderella Man made it out that Max Baer was like this really dirty, cheap shot goon. No. The guy that Max Baer actually killed in the ring? He put his whole family through college and kept his wife up until she died.
That's impressive.
So that they don't say that about Max Baer. They just say that he was a killer and that he loved killing people and that he was corrupt. No, Max Baer was a pretty good dude, but I'm just saying that's how you talk about these mob guys. Primo Carnera is the definition of the mob running boxing.
All right, here's the boxing trivia question of the day though. Why is Max Baer's son more famous than he is?
Because he's Jethro.
Jethro on the Beverly Hillbillies. You got it. I knew you had to get that one with your
there's no way I'm going to miss the fact that his dad, and he was so proud of his dad. And Jethro actually sued. I don't know if anybody know this. His family sued the people that made Cinderella Man movie because they talked so much shit about his dad, and they won because they won that lawsuit because they put so many lies about his dad.
Interesting.
They won that lawsuit because they lied so hard trying to have Russell Crowe have a villain. The movie, they won that lawsuit. Yeah, Max Baer Jr.
Oh, our buddy James had to leave. Just you and me now. Let's see here. What do we got?
Hey, you should have known I'm going to get random ass crazy shit.
I know. Let's see here. We got let's see. I'm gonna avoid the worst ones and kind of save them for last, but some of the bad motherfuckers, evil shit. Clifford Etienne, nicknamed the Black Rhino, was a heavyweight contender known for his power and durability, and he even fought Mike Tyson. However, his life outside the ring was marked by serious criminal activity, including prior armed robbery convictions. After his boxing career ended, Etienne embarked on a violent crime spree involving armed robbery, carjacking, and an attempted shooting of police officers. He was ultimately sentenced to a very long prison term, becoming one of the clearest examples of a failed rehabilitation arc in boxing.
You remember when he's one of those guys didn't start his boxing career like in his 30s because he'd been in jail his whole damn life. And I remember he fought the great Francois Botha as well. You forgot to mention him.
How could I forget?
I told you that fight was called the Call of the Wild. It was the White Buffalo versus the Black Rhino.
Yep, in the middle of fucking America. Anyhow,
middle of a city street in Oklahoma. They shut down a fucking street 105 degrees outside for Francois Botha.
To be fair, fucking not many people be driving down that street at 105 degrees anyway.
That is true.
Here. So we did LaMotta. Let's see here. We did King. that one. Let's see here.
Thomas Newman threw in Kurt Zidze. We don't know everything Kurt Zidze did, but I imagine he did some pretty bad shit that we'll never know. Being the strong man for like the Russian mob. I don't know what the fuck he did.
Oh, you're Kurt's side?
Yeah. What he? There's no telling how many people he fucked up.
Probably
over the year. He's probably killed. I imagine he's probably killed somebody.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. So we got. Let's go to Carlos We'll do Carlos Monzon. Why not? Carlos Monzon was one of the greatest middleweights in boxing history. Amen. Dominating the division in the 1970s. Outside the ring, however, became infamous for repeated domestic violence. In 1988, he was convicted of killing his wife, Alicia Munez, after a violent altercation in Argentina. He was sentenced to prison, but died in a car crash while on furlough. Monzon remains a deeply polarizing figure, celebrated for his boxing greatness, but permanently stained by his conviction for killing his partner.
He threw out a window. He threw out a fucking window.
See, and that's why it should have been voluntary manslaughter. You don't know ultimately what will happen when someone hits the ground.
But that's what I was telling you. We wasn't in that hotel room. We don't know what happened. She could have slipped. Maybe he was in it. He never got to defend him. He never really got to defend himself because he died.
He died. Let's see here. Here's a crazy one for you. Tony Ayala Jr. was considered a prodigy in the junior middleweight division, with many expecting him to become a world champion due to his aggressive style and talent. However, his career was derailed early when he was convicted of burglary and sexual assault in the early 1980s, resulting in a lengthy prison sentence. After release, he briefly returned to boxing, but never reached his projected potential. Ayala is frequently remembered as one of boxing's most tragic examples of elite talent destroyed by repeated violent criminal behavior. So he's a robbing rapist. Doesn't like to pay for anything.
I would say raping somebody is pretty extreme violent.
It is
violent activity. Yeah, you didn't just rape them. You broke into their house and raped them. So you did it all.
Raping is bad.
Carlos Baldemir.
They forgot. Yeah, Baldemir. Yeah, he was another one.
Was it repeatedly molested that girl her whole life? Is what he got charged with, or some shit?
It's messed up, dude.
Yeah, really fucked up.
Yeah, Panama Lewis and we know this one pretty well, is one of the most infamous trainers in boxing history due to his role in illegal and dangerous cheating methods. He is best known for his involvement in the Louis Resto-Billy Collins Jr. fight, where Resto's gloves were tampered with by removing padding and possibly adding foreign substances, resulting in severe career-ending injuries to Collins, who I will tell you later died. What was it? It was suicide, wasn't it, Justin?
His brain damage and shit. Yeah, he was fucked up.
All fucked up. Lewis is banned from boxing for life in multiple jurisdictions. He is often cited as the clearest example of a trainer whose actions directly endangered a fighter's life for a competitive advantage. And he also was the trainer of what's his fucking bucket? Give me the bottle. No, the one I mixed up.
Oh God, you're right. If you had
Pryor.
Yes. Well, see, it makes you wonder. Panama Lewis, he did that shit on national TV. Wonder what the shit he did and all the other fights that we don't know about. How many people he ruined and lives he fucked up.
That's the thing about it.
It wasn't the first time
they got caught.
Yeah.
Like, that's the question with Antonio Margarito.
Yes. How many people? How long was he doing that? How long had he been doing that? Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Panama Lewis. I mean, he might have a whole fucking bag full of bodies and people that he's fucked up.
Yeah, you don't know. It was just they went overboard in that fight because the referee, like he said, when he raised his gloves, it was just so fucking blatantly obvious.
Yes,
they like remove. He's like, I could like push in there, well, that's not.
Well,
good.
I think what happened.
Why didn't you check him before the fight, sir? You fucking idiot. But
I think when it comes to shit like that, is the old saying. You give somebody an inch, they take a ruler. So he just kept doing it for so long, you keep getting cockier and cockier. Yeah. And then eventually you're going to get caught, but you just keep pushing that envelope until you get caught because I'm sure like you've done that your whole life. You're going to keep doing it until somebody stops you like Margarito. I love Antonio Margarito. I do. I love watching his fight. It kind of sucks now because he's one of my favorite fighters because I'm like you. How many people did he actually legitimately fuck up, or was he cheating? But I got to look at it different ways. But yeah, you're right. Panama Lewis is a piece of shit. I guess you would say Margarito is. because you don't know how many people he let happen. It's not like
The difference between him and Louis Resto is that when you watch the documentary and you hear Louis Resto speak and you get and the people who have been around him talk about him, you understand that this is not a man capable of making high level decisions.
No. He was a
He
puppet.
takes orders from people
Yes.
who he trusts. And Panama Lewis was someone who he put his trust in, so he didn't question him. Louis
Exactly.
Resto was too simple to know what the fuck was going on.
He had the perfect puppet that had talent. He had a really good high level puppet that he could do whatever he wanted to with, and so they just kept pushing it. But you're right. God, boxing. The stories are amazing. Some of the shady shit people have tried to pull over the years that that would never even fucking know happened.
Mm-hmm. Now here you go. Now we're getting into the real fucking crazy ass ones. Edwin Valero,
Yeah.
the defeated Venezuelan knockout artist. All of his wins coming by stoppage. It was repeatedly overshadowed by violent behavior outside the ring, including arrests for domestic abuse, which culminated in 2010 when he was arrested after the death of his wife, who he confessed to killing potentially while in custody. There are still questions about that. Venezuela. Yeah. Anyhow, Valero died by suicide.
Yes.
His story is obviously as a tragic combination of untreated psychological issues, brain trauma concerns, and escalating violence.
He was probably, I wouldn't be surprised if he was undiagnosed like bipolar or some shit, and then the shots to the head and everything else. That is sad. Probably more than it is what he did was bad, but that man had a lot of shit going on.
Well, he was clearly fucking insane. I remember when he was fighting Antonio DeMarco, and he had that cut on his forehead from a head clash, I think, or an elbow, it was, and it was just like gushing down his face, and he's got this sick fucking grin, and he's got his chin up in the fucking air, smiling from ear to ear, beating DeMarco from pillar to post.
He's
a sick man, dude. I knew it when I saw that.
Yeah, slice out his personal life. You're not going to find many fighters that were fun to watch than Edwin Valero. He was incredible to watch. All his fights were like that. He was just a balls to the wall. It was insane. But you're right.
Well, and the fact that when he was fighting, it got cut off because if he had just signed the deal with Golden Boy. So what was on the horizon potentially for him going further in his career, we could have seen Edwin Valero against Matisse. We could have seen him against Maidana. I mean, you're talking that era, that kind of group of fighters. We were robbed of some bad fucking slugouts, man. Like, God love his wife. She deserves to be alive more than we deserve to watch fights. But fuck, there were some wars waiting for him one weight class above, and it was, yeah. Anyhow, let's see here.
You know what? Damn it, we deserve those fights.
We do. Maybe in the afterlife, Justin. Maybe in the afterlife. Let's see here. And I got two more here for, and I'm sure there's so many more that I'm missing, but here's two more. James Butler, known as the Harlem Hammer, was a promising American light heavyweight who became infamous for one of boxing's most notorious acts of sportsmanship collapse. After losing a televised fight to Richard Grant in 2001, Butler sucker punched Grant during a post-fight interview in a shocking moment of unsportsmanlike violence. If you haven't seen that, it's a crazy video.
I watched that live.
Yeah, later in life, Butler's behavior deteriorated further, and he was eventually convicted of the murder of journalist Sam Kellerman in 2004. His trajectory is often cited as a descent from talent to instability and serious criminal violence.
Well, they proved that he actually really was mentally insane. I think they proved that he was he had serious mental issues. That was another one but I remember that. I remember watching that when he walked over and then just sucker punched the shit. Though that sucker punch.
Yeah, it looked like he was going over to shake his hand.
Boom!
And he just waylaid him.
But that sucker punch and one of the Durrell brothers, Unk, is two of the worst sucker punches I've seen in a boxing ring, I think. When he sucker punched Remember, he went over and sucker punched the fighter like he was going to shake his hand, and then just hauled off and hit him in the back of the fucking
I
head.
don't remember that.
You don't remember that? You don't remember Darrell's
No.
uncle? You don't remember Darrell's uncle? He was the corner man, and he walked over because Darrell lost the fight. So he walked over to him and was like, you know how the corners go over and like pat the guy on the back, say, hey man, good fight. Well, the guy kind of looked at him like, hey, and then he kind of turned away. And when he did, Darrell's uncle just punched him in the fucking back of the head and got arrested. And then you remember like Carissa Shields was like, man, Unc, he's getting a frame job. You know what I mean? Y'all need to get off his back. She kept calling him Unc and all that shit. I know you remember that shit where Carissa Shields was like going to battle for him.
Jesus.
Like, you know, he wasn't a bad guy. And like, he got arrested for that shit. It was assault.
You should have been. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy would have killed him if he'd have saw him coming. He just was not paying attention. God, that was some cheap shit. But yeah, Butler's was like, hey, buddy, good fight. Wham! Right in the fucking face.
And then he killed Kellerman. Felix Verdejo taking the #1 slot. Felix Verdejo was a highly touted Puerto Rican prospect, an Olympian, and at one point a future star in the lightweight division. His boxing career collapsed entirely after he was charged and later convicted in federal court for the kidnapping and murder of Keisha Rodriguez Ortiz, who was pregnant with his child. Evidence presented at trial showed that Verdejo participated in a coordinated plan that involved assaulting her, injecting her with drugs, binding her, and disposing of her body by throwing her off a bridge into a lagoon. He was convicted of kidnapping resulting in death and related charges and sentenced to life in prison. His case is widely regarded as one of the most disturbing criminal scandals involving a professional boxer.
Pay the child support.
Yeah, don't throw her off a bridge.
It's like, you remember this. You remember Ray Caruth. This is the same thing. Ray Caruth was and he played for
Ray Caruth. Where'd Ray Caruth go? Plays college football.
Colorado.
Yes, sir.
Ray Caruth he played for the Panthers. So I watched him play live. And so Ray Caruth, he was married. The girl got pregnant. Same thing as Verdejo. Verdejo didn't want the baby. Ray Caruth didn't want the baby. So Ray Caruth had her killed, but Ray Caruth didn't get his hands on us. Ray Caruth hid in the trunk of the car and was looking at the crack of the trunk while she was getting murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And he got out. He got out last year. Ray Caruth did.
Yep. And the child that she was pregnant with survived the murder and is still alive today. He's
brain damaged.
He's mentally disabled, but he's got a grandmother who really takes care of him. And like, this is about horror, not human interest, but it's a very touching story. I bet you can probably go to YouTube and find it. If you look up Real Sports Ray Caruth,
crazy fucking shit.
There's that's a story for you.
Yeah,
holy shit.
He got that contract by the Panthers, and he didn't want to give her none of the money, and he didn't want his wife to take his money from him because he just got that contract. So he thought like Verdejo, because Verdejo was like, you know what? Instead of giving her the money, I almost want to go fucking murder her. But yeah, Verdejo took it to another level. He was actually involved. Yeah, he was hands on in this shit. That's what makes him the worst, because he didn't have somebody do it. He was there with them.
Yeah. He didn't just put it out for work.
No,
we're gonna do this like a team.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna be right with you, and that's just fuck it. I'll say it again. Pay the fucking child support and move on. I mean, it's just so ridiculous when guys do that. Kill the mistress. Hey, guess what? You're going to be inconvenienced, but you're not going to be in fucking jail for life. It's just so fucking stupid. Verdejo, whatever. I think Verdejo is he's a sad story all around. His career fell apart, murdered somebody, in jail for life. It's all fucking sad with him.
It is. And let's also not forget the wife of Arturo Gatti. All I can tell you is if you can watch any of like the documentaries or anything that have been made about that, and you believe that Arturo Gatti killed himself, I can't help you.
No, if that
it does none of it line up.
No,
what?
If that had been in
first strap, really?
If that had been in New York, she'd be in jail right now.
Oh yeah,
that was thrown under the rug so quick because of so incompetence that Arturo Gatti come on. That's just that was another insane one. That what happened with that, but that's boxing that's every sport. That's it's I don't get it. But yeah, for Verdejo, he deserves exactly where the fuck he's supposed to be at. He deserves it. That's why you might not like the death penalty, but that's what the death penalty is for. Is evil motherfuckers like that. Like there's people that do horrific stuff. But I mean, he'll get life, but is Puerto Rico sort of like Canada, or the UK, where life is not life, or is life life?
It's a U.S. territory.
So I'm thinking life's life.
I think he got life in prison and not a life sentence, which are different things.
Because some people, when they like it's life, but 20 years he can get out.
Yeah, there's a difference between life in prison and life sentence.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yep. Thomas Ubin said Vivian Obanoff. I don't believe that story. I think she's too hot to kill anybody. I think Rob would agree on that one. She's too hot to be bad. Let's just I'm not even, I don't count her. I'll put it right now. If Vivian Obanoff walked to my front door, we're dating. I'll just have to keep my bats put up. We'll have to keep an eye on her, make sure I don't piss her off. But we're going to try to make it work. We're gonna get her back in boxing shape. We're gonna make this work. We're gonna give this a shot.
The crazy hot scale rings true.
Yeah, she is.
There's a lot of factual evidence to that shit from my own eyes, at least.
So basically, she
anecdotal evidence, I guess.
I don't blame the Swiss guy. He is a filthy rich. He saw a smoking hot boxer. He became her sugar daddy. He did what he did. I mean, if I had that kind of money, I would probably talk to Obanoff. Hey, you want to come to Switzerland and hang out? I mean, we would have had discussions about this. That's why it's probably good. It's not a good thing I have that much money, because I'd be calling that Shernika Johnson, be like, hey,
fuck yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing this weekend? Like, I could pay for your purse. Let's go hang out. I mean, that's kind of shit you got to think about. But
yeah,
Obanoff is crazy.
You got to weigh in? I'll paint your boobs for you.
Yeah, I'll be there. Let's go. You don't need OnlyFans. Whatever you're making OnlyFans, I'll double that each month. That's why I shouldn't have money. I'd be slinging.
Yeah,
slinging crazy. But yeah, Obanoff, because what was it? She was a bat, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think she beat
did
him
it
to death
like
with a
this.
bat.
Did it like that.
Hey.
Did it with a wiffle ball.
Like you said, crazy hot is crazy hot.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch enough true crime stuff, the hot ones that can kind of be out there a little bit.
It's nothing worse than fucking the ugly, crazy ones.
God, that's a sad life for you. To get killed by an ugly woman, that should gotta be sad in itself. If I go down, I was telling my buddy the other day, if I go down, because we were talking about Obanoff, I said, if I go down it better be that I got caught up with a smoking hot woman and she took me out. If she's ugly, then just say I killed myself.
I can live with that.
I couldn't have people know that. Oh, like a 200-pounder take me out. And because that'd be too much for my life. My dad couldn't handle it. I know he couldn't live with that.
Yeah. Some can, some can't. Some have the gift.
I'm trying to think. We talked about Baldomir. You can't really count Tyson because his is so up in the air about the rape. Did he do it or didn't do it? That's a little bit different.
Yeah, but he is just kind of a frightening individual.
Yeah.
In general.
You have, like I said, you don't know what. And like I said, Kurt Zietz would be the one I'd like the book to come out on, because I know that guy did some. He wasn't just running with the bad guys. He was running with bad guys. So I don't know what the hell he ended up really getting caught up in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dino Bravo, that Canadian. Remember that boxer, wrestler Dino Bravo? You remember he was the leg breaker for that Canadian mob. Why he was still? They said he would break somebody's leg and still go wrestle on the WWF show. Yeah, he never stopped. His dad was the head of a huge crime family.
Hey, so we noticed that you don't have as much maple syrup here as you did a few days before, and we don't remember getting attacked.
Yeah. He was
the Canadian accent.
His
fucking weird things.
His dad or his uncle was the head of a huge crime family in Montreal, and he was the wrist breaker and shit.
Yeah, you got to make a living.
They didn't pay that. They didn't pay wrestlers that much as they do now.
They did not.
So
it was a much more difficult fucking way to earn a living.
You gotta make ends meet.
Yeah, I mean, after you buy your cocaine, I mean, you're basically bringing nothing back home.
That's true. You gotta make it happen. And I can't think of anybody. I can't. I'm sure we're like you said, we're going to miss somebody, but I think we got the top players. I think.
Oh yeah, we got a good bulk of them. I mean, I'm sure. What'll be great is checking the comments like afterwards and seeing like, what other people might throw in there. Please do put them in the comments once the videos are posted on whatever platform you check us out on.
We'll miss somebody. I know.
Oh, easily or 10.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's close this out with something different. Episode 666, a discussion of some of our favorite horror films. Now, Justin, I don't know how much horror you watch because you spend so much time watching Andy Griffith, which isn't particularly frightening, at least the episodes that I've seen. Who was the family of hillbillies that were a bluegrass band?
The Darlings.
The Darlings. Yeah, they weren't frightening.
I'll put it this way. I am staring at my life-size Chucky doll right now.
Okay.
I go a little extreme. I watched a horror movie this morning. I watched Leprechaun 2 again just because I think it's funny and it's a horror movie. But
Leprechaun's those are such awful movies.
Yeah, but I think my mom got me watching. You know, most kids are watching like Clifford, the Big Red Dog, or Barney and all that shit. We were 7 years old, and my mom dated this guy who stole all the horror movies from an action video.
Nice.
So he lived in a little single wide trailer. So his whole wall was stolen movies. So we could walk up there. Yeah, my mom ran with some pretty rough dudes. So there's another horror story about him I can tell actually in a minute, but he had all these horror movies. So he didn't want to be bothered by me and Ryan. So I was like 7 or 8. So we would go over and just pick a horror movie and watch it. So we were watching like Phantasm, Friday the 13th, all this shit when I was like 7 years old. So I might be demented now. I don't know, it might have made me crazy, but so that's the shit I loved watching. We watched that shit as kids, and so I'm desensitized now. We were watching.
So you say Phantasm? Okay, that's one of my favorites.
I love.
I have a tall man Funko Pop doll.
Yes,
you bought. I have.
You bought it when it came out. I have it as well.
Yes, I did.
I have it as well. I lost the bidding on the other day. The original spear that was used on set. I lost that in the bidding war. I was going to have one of the original ones they used in the movie.
Oh, I thought it was spear.
The spear with the spear that come out after people, the little ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it's called, the silver ball. I lost that to this little fuckhead. I don't know. I can't remember his name now on eBay.
What'd it go for?
I think it went for like $800. One of them did because it was damn. But I saved my crazy money for boxing. I can't get crazy with. I can only go $500 or $600 on that stuff. But yeah, I'm a Phantasm man. Some people call it cheesy. I just love the music.
People don't understand how well regarded Don Coscarelli is as a director and and he doesn't do shit all the time. People didn't always get Phantasm. The third one was fucking bizarre and weird as shit, and I don't even really count it, except for like some of the pieces of lore you need. But if you wanted 2 other movies to see how good Don Coscarelli was at his craft when it came to horror movies or horror adjacent as it might be in any case, Bubba Hotep.
Yep,
and
great
movie. And John dies at the end.
Great movie. Great. Bubba Hotep's awesome.
Yeah, fucking Bruce Campbell.
It is a extremely well written, kind of a weird storyline, but it's funny, and it is a great like lesser known movie that people should actually just go back and watch because it's good. And I like that shit. I like, of course, I've seen all the the newer stuff. I've seen all the Terrifiers in theater. I've seen all that.
Terrifiers they're all right.
That's if you've got to be into gore. I'm more of I like gore, but I'm more into like the suspense, jump scare type stuff, like the old schools type stuff, more than just slicing people.
Is I've watched too many Asian films for a lot of these gore movies to really do anything to me. They're good, but like if you've watched Ichi the Killer, it's like, that's pretty brutal. It's like pretty brutal. I mean, I've seen hot oil poured over a mob boss slowly, but it's pretty brutal. You know, and they're all right. Like, but I mean, like shit like that has been going on for a while. I mean, that's like Leatherface kind of shit.
Like Alien 1 was a really good
Alien
horror
the
suspense
Alien's
movie.
good.
Was a really good like suspense horror movie because like you never got to see the creature a lot. And that was good. I like that one. I fucking love it all. I said I will watch because my mom comes over all the time.
It has to either be really good or really stupid. I don't like the fair to midland shit.
No, I love F level horror just as much as I love A level.
You ever seen Thanksgiving?
Yep, I love that one.
Yes.
It's all. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't even have to have a good storyline. I just like horror movies because you don't have to think a lot.
No,
you can just sit there.
It's not required.
You can just enjoy it for what it like. The Hatchet movies are so stupid, but fuck it, I like them because they're stupid, but they're enjoyable. I really love the genre of when they go ghost hunting and it's real, like that kind of shit. When they like, oh no, there actually are ghosts there.
Have you seen Grave Encounters, particularly the second one?
Yes,
where there's that door and they couldn't figure out how to open the door and they just couldn't get the fuck out of the building.
I have seen both of them are good. They made 2 of them. I've seen those are awesome movies. There's a bunch of local North Carolina ones I can't remember the names out they're filmed right up the road. What's the Cabin Fever? The one where they all get that fucking skin starts melting off and shit because they get that damn like disease starts like in the water.
I haven't seen that one.
Well, Cabin Fever was a real famous one. It was filmed where I went to high school.
Cool.
So the beginning of that movie, I ate at the hamburger place. They're eating they're walking out of.
Fucking A.
So that movie I always thought that is a gore horror movie. Like the girl's like, he grabs her arm and her whole fucking skin and shit comes ripping off and crap like that. That is crazy shit. But yeah.
I remember, dude, randomly, not horror, but I remember watching an episode of Breaking Bad and seeing a steakhouse in Albuquerque that I'd eaten at. And I'm like, holy shit, it's Paul's Monterey.
Yes.
It's closed now.
There's that famous hamburger place in New Mexico they eat at a couple of times.
Lottaburger.
Yeah. No, not Whataburger. It's another one. It's like a
Lottaburger. Blake's Lottaburger.
Yeah. That's it. I thought you said Whataburger. Yeah. I've eaten at the one that was in a couple of episodes. Because I lived out there for a little bit.
Anyhow, back to horror. What a diversion. This is already a diversion. When you get into I like zombie movies when they're done well.
Yes.
Obviously, the original Romero, Night of the Living Dead, fucking beautiful piece of film. I like the remake of Dawn of the Dead with Ving Rhames more than I like the original. But I will say that I personally think the best zombie movie that I've ever seen is Train to Busan.
God, that movie is awesome.
Fuck yes.
Yes. My mom come over. This was like a couple years ago, and she still loves this shit too. So that's when she comes over, we'll cook dinner and we'll watch horror movies. And I was like, Mom, this movie's going to be subtitled, but you don't really have to worry about that. Just watch the movie. It was fucking awesome. If nobody's ever seen that movie, you got to read a little bit. But
subtitles,
as far as just like suspense and just action and shit happening, and those are the fucking like 4 or 5 running zombies. You got the slow ones, and then you got the ones that can fucking haul ass.
Yeah,
these are the scary ones.
What they do with like fucking thousands of them going, like the CGI on it is fantastic, and you've got a fucking baseball team on the train.
Yes.
So they're like waylaying them with fucking baseball bats.
That's
what
I told.
What was the dude's name? The big buff son of a bitch whose wife is pregnant on the train.
Oh god, yeah, he's taking care of business.
That guy just goes around just like cracking fucking skulls.
Well,
it's just great.
Those are the scary zombies.
It's just great.
Those are the scary zombies. I don't really care about the ones that crawl and go like 5 miles. Like that just walk slow. You can get them. You can survive them.
Yeah, you just have
surviving
to run and then
you're not surviving the Busan type zombies that are fucking just sprinting full blast and don't stop.
Well, my problem, of all the seasons that I've watched of these different zombie shows and shit like that, have you seen one fucking group of people dig a moat?
No.
What happened to the simple concept of a moat? Like, you guys are forgetting the lessons of 600-700 years ago. And like,
Yes.
I realized that the show is essentially over and it's just you capping drowned zombies or like burning them in a pit because you just decide, I will just
Wait, you remember they
steak
started?
down there
You
instead.
remember
But
that one horror movie? They were swimming. Remember those fuckers went through the water?
oh, that was the Land of the Dead, the
Yeah.
one that had Leguizamo in it. When
Yeah.
they decide, hey, wait, what can we
We're-
do? And they just like walk through the
Yeah.
water. And,
Hey,
yeah,
so
they're like,
the moat. Hey, that kind of throws out your moat idea because those fuckers were moving.
well, and that's why I argue that the moat to keep out the zombies shouldn't be one that's filled with water. I just think it should be just a really deep fucking hole. And every once in a while, you throw some fucking petrol down there, toss a match, and you burn up the
Well,
zombies.
if you put a bunch of spikes and a bunch of like debris and shit, will they have a hard time getting through it? Yeah, then you can just pick them off.
Yeah.
Hey, we can survive. I can survive in a slow zombie movie, not the fast fuckers. I'll be dead.
No, I have no chance of fast zombies.
I'm done. They're going to catch me in about 5 seconds. I'm not going to make that.
I have neither the speed nor the marksmanship nor the arsenal necessary to
Or the
manage.
Or the will to live.
Or seriously, my apocalypse plan is one bullet and one gun.
Yeah, I don't think I don't have the will enough to live to just sit there and fight fast ass zombies 24/7 the rest of my
It's like
life.
all these fucking people are like stacking up an extra room
Yeah.
with supplies and shit like that. And I'm like, where do you keep all your stuff? I'm like, in a drawer by my bed.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'll take somebody else's supplies. I'll be that guy that goes around and just like steals people's shit. I'll
Yeah,
be the guy in that movie.
yeah, but you got to be a little bit fleet-footed and be able to
Yeah,
creep
that's not
through the
gonna
night, Justin.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, not with your stature and your back.
No, I'll be down pretty quick. They'll beat me up pretty fast.
Stick with the one bullet, one gun club. We've got the plan.
Yeah, because you don't want to become a zombie. So yeah, you got to kill yourself.
No, who wants to be a fucking zombie? But then it's Walking Dead where those motherfuckers just turn into goddamn zombies.
Yeah.
Like, you die, you become one. You don't have to get bitten or anything like that. You just become a fucking. That's bullshit. That's setting a certain parameter on the rules. Like, how do you stay on top of that many people and their vital signs at any one fucking time?
That's
You know,
pushing.
like,
That's pushing it too much.
you're gonna do that end farm?
Yeah, that's a little like I watched Candyman the other day. Not the remake, the old one.
I haven't seen the remake.
It is. Well, I'm not going to get too deep in this, but it was really race based about how bad white people are, basically.
Well, it's a Jordan Peele movie.
That's what. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into all that, but that's kind of like I'm like. God.
Well, and to be fair to Jordan Peele, fucking Us and then Get Out, great movies. Great.
Never
fucking
seen
movies.
them.
Oh man. Us. I actually might like Us more than Get Out. It's just darker on its front foot. It gets going a little bit more. So the reasoning behind the darkness of the plot can be like more like kind of fleshed out a little bit, so the ending makes more sense and shit. Like it's a crazy kind of shock ending and stuff, but like there's enough going on. You're like, holy shit, that's crazy as hell. It makes fucking sense for some reason, but that's crazy as hell. Get Out, great commentary. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it was a good one. Then that Nope did nothing for me. I watch it again? Nope.
No, yeah, people love that movie. I get why you like it. I just didn't really enjoy it that much.
So you watched Nope, but you didn't watch Get Out?
Yep. I usually just watch the old shit. I like watching the old horror movies from like the 60s, 70s.
Man, you're
80s.
missing out on some shit.
I live in the past.
The first 3 movies of the Hell House trilogy.
I love them.
Okay, so you watch new shit. Don't fucking
well, do worry. I'll send you a picture. I had the Hell House original movie poster on my wall.
Jesus Christ, you own weird shit.
I just added Randall Bailey fight worn trunks to my collection 2 days ago.
As long as you don't sniff them, that's cool.
I asked if they were washed, and they said no. That's why I bought them. No dry cleaning, fresh.
The European version of Speak No Evil, the original,
Yes.
is fucking great. What a movie. I haven't seen the American one yet, or have I?
You've seen you probably seen the original.
I've seen the
American.
original.
I mean, the American. You've probably seen the American.
Maybe like no, I haven't, because somebody told me they changed the ending so that it's a brighter ending, and I'm like, no, it's the fucking darkness of that ending, because for like I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen Speak No Evil, so I'm not going to give away like any plot points here, but it's just this really, really slow burn for a little bit over an hour where you keep getting these little pieces. There's like uncomfortable parts that make you kind of anxious of like cultural differences and shit. Maybe like the angry dad thing kind of gets you a bit, but then it just turns on its fucking head and it's just going 90 miles an hour for the end. And then it just ends like that 90 miles an hour into a brick wall. Yeah, like it's just, I mean, it's a fucking roller coaster ride if there ever was one. And it starts with like a single scenic jungle tour, and you end up in like the wickedest roller coaster you've ever been on. Great goddamn movie. Great movie. You talk about classics. Have you seen High Tension? It's mostly in French, 2005-ish, I think.
I'll have to think about that one.
Great movie. Also
watched
known as Switchblade Romance.
I'll have to look that up. I might not have seen that one.
That's worth it. What about your Korean films? How are you with your Korean movies? You know Train to Busan.
I know Train to Busan. My thing is I have a tough time. I remember random shit, but I watch when I'm off during the summer. I'll probably watch 6 to 8 horror movies a day if I'm not doing anything. I kind of forget the titles. I have to go back and like look up who was in it and the name and like the faces, then I'll remember them sometimes because I watch so fucking like I like the original Tales from the Crypt. You ever seen that one?
Of course. Are you talking about like the series on HBO?
No, it's the original one, like the British guys in it. It's like
I haven't actually. I watched the way backs. I just the HBO one. I think
it's what it's based off of. That whole show is based off of that movie, but it is like they have a. I'll give this part away. I don't give a shit. If you ain't watched, people haven't watched. There's a part. I'm not gonna tell you what happens.
Yeah, it's a 6-year-old movie.
But there's a part where I know this is the movie. This guy is like he's running like this, sort of like a mental asylum but not really a mental asylum. It's for people that are blind, and they have like mental defects and stuff. Well, he starts running it, and they hate his guts. And so let's just put it this way: they fuck him. These blind guys all get together and decide we're taking this motherfucker out, and it is fucking awesome. They really
it would have been hilarious, Justin. If in the middle of like beating the shit out of this guy, they like accidentally are hitting each other too, because they can't fucking see what's going on.
Well, put it this way: they don't beat him up. They just fuck him up. It's like they use. Let's say this: they use some razor blades, and it is really good. That was really awesome. Shit was awesome. Anyway, that movie was. I'll have to find it and send it to you. I can't remember. I think it's what because you have like the crypt keeper.
Oh, I'm sure I can find it on the.
And he brings all these people into this room, and he starts telling them why they're there. Like, how did you end up here? And so he starts telling tales about why they were there. And the guy got killed by the blind people is fucking awesome.
And then they did a play on it, really like a really underrated movie, I thought, in the mid-90s called Tales from the Hood.
Yeah.
There was some of those little short stories in that one were very, very good.
They made like what? They made 2 of them. They made 2 of them, didn't they?
I don't. If they did make another one, I didn't see it.
I think they made 2 of them. I think they made.
It probably sucked, the second one.
The first one had the guy from I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. He was the first. He was the crypt keeper in the first one. He was funny. But yeah, those are actually they break in there to try to rob his funeral home or something.
He was supposed to pay him something.
Yeah. That was a good one. Underrated because the name sounds stupid.
Yeah, but it's good. Great. The one with the voodoo dolls is one of the better short horror stories. And speaking of stuff like that, there's a series that came out probably 12 or 15 years ago, and it was called Masters of Horror. And what they did is they got like a bunch of famous or cult famous, as it might be, horror directors to direct hour-long movies, and it basically it's just taking all the senseless stuff out of a 90-minute and condensing it into these really kind of quick moving stories. And there was some fantastic little ones on there. Coscarelli did one that was really good. I think one of my favorite ones was, do you remember the one with Meatloaf?
Yes, I love Meatloaf.
That one was really, really solid. The one about the secret society protecting like the past of America was a really good one. The one with the necrophilia was fucking really good, actually. You're like, the end, you're like, she's fucking corpses, but like the story going to it was fucking tremendously entertaining.
Have you seen the one with? Have you seen? God, I literally have I made an ornament of this movie. The what's the Valentine's Day? They remade it. It's My
Valentine.
Yeah, you've seen the original, hadn't you?
Uh-huh.
The remake sucks. I didn't like the remake at all, except for the naked woman in the first of it. I like that part.
Yeah, they're always great.
But My Bloody Valentine's awesome. That's one of my favorites. That is a great movie. That is a classic. You don't need a lot of money. It was made in the 70s. It was simple, but it was great.
The original Last House on the Left.
Yes, that was a great movie. Have you seen the original House on Haunted Hill? Was good.
Yeah.
That was even the new House on Haunted Hill. When you had the guy from Saturday Night Live, I enjoyed it for what it was. My buddy won't watch that movie anymore. He hates CGI horror jump scares with the CGI. That shit freaks him out, and so he can't watch that kind of shit. It just fucks with his head, and so he won't watch those movies. He won't watch House on. He don't like anything like 13 Ghosts, the original, and the Tony Shalhoub one. He won't watch that one either because of the ghosts like floating in and out and the CGI flashing and shit. That fucks him up, which that's a good movie. All the Hellraisers, I love all that. The first one's awesome.
First Hellraiser is a great movie.
The second one, my mom and brother and this girl I was dating, they refused to watch that with me. They quit watching it after the part where the guy come out with no skin and the girl was making out with him in his office. And she had no skin. And he was like making out with her with no skin on and shit. They quit watching it after that. That was pretty fucked up. That was a great movie. I remember as a kid, I was only like 10 years old, and we were sitting there watching that, and I was like, and they went up in the attic, and the guy was sitting there with no skin, and she was killing people for him. I said, Mom, what? I even as a kid, I was like, I probably shouldn't be watching this, but I liked it. But I was like, Pinhead is always a great horror. He's just freaky looking.
He's one of the better. Yeah, he's one of the better horror characters.
The new one was okay. They come out with a couple of years ago. It was okay, but the original, of course, that shit stuff. Then they get into Pinhead origin. They made like 9 of those movies. I've watched every one. They're all insane. They get a little bit more gorier as each goes on.
Yeah, the problem with stuff like that is if you have an interesting like backstory, you can only take it so far. And
yeah,
they have to start like inventing new shit.
They are inventing like crazy. Or Pinhead was actually a good guy. He was an army soldier and all this other crap. Those are awesome movies for people that love shit like that.
The Halloween movies are great too. And I know people didn't like the newest set necessarily with Halloween Kills and all that stuff. I even liked the Rob Zombie ones. I like the more psychiatric analysis of Michael Myers. They are. You've got to know you got to know what you're getting into when you watch a movie he directs. So if you went into that movie thinking it was going to be like the other Halloweens, you made a mistake. Because Rob Zombie does his own thing. Yeah, he was gonna make the same movie just with modern effects. He's gonna add a little bit more crazier storyline shit to it. But the 3 new ones they come out with, I hated the second and third one of the new ones. I actually like, the first one they did, how it ended. I thought the first one was pretty good. I did not like the second and third one. I thought the third one was one of the worst movies I've watched. I could barely finish it. I thought it was so bad. They went so extreme
with all this psychological shit and all. It was stupid. They went out their ass. They put their head up their ass on the second and third one, but the first one was good. And I love all the Halloween movies. Those are fucking Friday. We actually watched. It's funny you said that. Last night I was sitting there eating a steak, watching the original Friday the 13th. And my mom, now I think she might be losing it because I'm going to say this. We all know who the killer was in the first one.
Uh-huh.
My mom asked me halfway through the movie, she's like, how can't they see he's wearing the mask? Why do they keep getting in his car? Why aren't they scared? I'm like, for fuck's sake, Mom. Jason is not picking people up with his mask on going down the fucking road. And she was like, I don't understand. Like, if I pulled up and a guy had his mask on, why are they getting in his car? I'm like, my God, Mom, you've lost it. I'm like, Jason is not driving down the road in a Jeep Wrangler, picking up people and driving them around. I said, come on. I said, what the hell are you talking about?
Jason's not like, hey, you guys like Skinnerd?
Yeah. I was like, Mom was like, she I swear to God, she said this like 5 times. She's like, I don't get it. They pull up and they just get in the car. I'm like, they start having a regular conversation like it's not a big deal. I'm like, Mom, that's not fucking Jason. That's his mom. And she was like, well, where's Jason at? Is he in the woods hanging out? I'm like, God almighty. Jason is like a kid. He's not even alive. Or he might even be a ghost. We don't know what the fuck he is really in the first one. Shut up.
He's already dead, yeah, because they were picking on him and he drowned. Remember, that's why she was pissed.
I was like, Mom, but I'll end this with Jason. My dad told the funniest fucking story about Friday the 13th. He was at a movie theater in Winston. They tore it down now. I keep remembering this theater. It's the Golden Corral now. Well, he said they went in there and watched it, and he was with, it was 5 buddies. I think my dad was like 20. I don't know how old. He wasn't that old because, you know, it come out like 1980. So Dad was like 22, 23. And so all his buddies on Saturday nights would go get drunk, try to bang some whores, or they might go to a movie and still try to bang whores, but they were at a movie. And so my dad was a
I just saw that little Asian girl.
Yeah,
why not both?
My dad was a man whore. He still is. But he cheated on my mom 18 times at least that I know of. So so Dad said they were sitting there and it was him and 4 buddies. Well, Dad said his buddy was sitting beside of him, and then beside of his buddy was this little black kid and his mom. And he said that kid couldn't have been 12 or 13 years old. And so the whole movie, his buddy was like, I don't want to be here. I don't like horror movies. Well, Dad said he kept looking over there, and him and this little black kid were like arm in arm almost because they were both scared. They were both scared to death. And he said they kept like turning away and like looking at each other. And so he said when that little kid jumped out of the water, you know, Jason grabs her at the end. He said his buddy grabbed that little 13-year-old boy by the hand and said, let's get the fuck out of here. They ran out of the movie theater. And Dad said that kid's mom, he said that kid's mom was like, started dying laughing. And he said that his buddy was outside smoking a cigarette, and that little kid was standing beside him shaking outside the movie theater waiting for them to come out. And he said that guy's mom was like, come on, we'll go. But he said to this day, he said his buddy's face said, let's get the fuck out of here. Grab that kid's arm. Because Dad said the guy was like, he looked at him. He'll never forget this. He looked at me and said, whoa, shit. He said, it's over now. He said, they got her. They got that bitch. And Dad's like, I don't think it's over because there's music playing. And he was like, it's over. The music's playing. She's rescued. I'm done. Whoosh, out of the water. He fucking took off with that little kid. I said, Dad, nowadays that might get arrested. But he come flying out of the fucking theater. That is the funniest story I've ever seen I heard in my life. When that little kid, he's dead. So that guy to this day, if you see him, Dad will bring that story up to him, and he gets pissed every time. Man, he said, "Fuck you." He's like, that was some scary shit. I told you I didn't want to go. To this day, and the man's in his 60s, and he still talks shit about that fucking movie. So that was great.
I think I want to talk about one more series a bit, and then or character more so, and then close it out after that with vampire movies.
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
What a great character Freddy Krueger is. That there's a run of movies, a few of them are weak in there, but it's such a great storyline, and it makes, and it's like, and they don't try to make it like something that like isn't evil into evil. They're like, no, this like god awful, terrible pedophile, died a terrible death, and now he haunts our children because we killed him because he was a fucking pedophile.
I don't want to use this word, but that was the most original and beautiful storyline. It just worked out. It was that he wrote that movie. See, I've had this discussion. Nobody wants to talk to me about this shit because they say I get a little too extreme.
Fuck them.
The first and second one were legit horror movies. The rest of them were funny as shit.
I wouldn't go that far.
I thought they were funny. I loved it. I thought they were the funniest.
So the first two were scary. Were definitely like scary as shit. The end of the first movie is one of the best endings of a fucking horror movie. Riding off in the car.
They're horror. The first two are legit. When I was a kid, they scared me as a kid. They were legit horror movies. The
third one, and I know this stuff doesn't like move your barometer or trip your trigger in any way, shape, or form, but the third movie is widely now viewed as one of the first movies that openly advocated for queer kids. So has its own place in its own kind of lexicon of different shit away from horror that makes it influential in its own way.
Who's the gay kid in Dream Warriors?
I fucking can't even remember now.
I don't remember a gay kid. I don't remember a kid saying he was gay.
Yeah. And yet yet recognized for queer advocacy.
Wait, hold on. Now, if you want to get extreme now, I love Dream Warriors. Dokken did the song for that movie.
Yep.
And so if you ever watched the Dokken video where like Freddy Krueger's a part of it, it is funny as shit. The Dokken Dream Warrior video.
I loathe hair metal to a great.
Well, what they did Freddy Krueger was like in the video. It was funny as shit. But Dream Warriors, you know that she's building that house at the first of the movie.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's put it this way. I may or may not be owning that house very soon because there's a guy who's going to make it for me. And it's the original one that she built. I want it to look just like that one that she built. And he's going to put a red light in it so I could turn it off and on like they did in the movie. In the light in the left window. So I could turn that light off and on to fuck with people. Like at night, I could hit it with a little switch to fuck with people. So I'm getting that house anyway. But I don't remember. I know you had I don't remember any gay people in Dream Warriors.
I'll look up why I'm trying to remember now.
There is no sexual context to that movie. I don't remember. There's no.
Well, we get off because that's a longer conversation.
Yeah, I'll have to dig into that.
The one I like that I would say was not comedic and it was back to good horror was New Nightmare, which was very, very clever because it weaved the idea of the film existing,
yes,
and then Freddy Krueger himself being an actual existing evil entity as well. That what they made fantasy is also reality.
Well, think about it. If he's a dream, and you dreamed him up, couldn't he be a dream as well, like you said in real life? Because of how, yeah, you're right. I like that. People don't like that one as much, but I thought it was
very clever. I liked it more than Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, Freddy versus Jason was stupid. But
yeah,
that New Nightmare was more, I thought he was stupid in it because he was like buff. Freddy was a little buff in that movie. Like he'd been hitting the weights. I didn't like that.
Well, if you had so many kids slip through your fingers, then you were an evil villain. Wouldn't you start to hit the gym?
It's like me thinking to myself, he's like sitting there in the boiler room just pumping. Like he's got nothing else to do because he was buff, which I thought was so stupid. And they changed his face a little bit, which wasn't as cool.
Yep.
But the plot line was good. I didn't like how they made him look kind of. Yeah. Now the new one they made was absolute horrible. I like the actor. He was a terrible, terrible Freddy. Terrible.
You just don't do that with Robert. Robert Englund does his thing. And by the way, if you like odd horror movies with people like Robert Englund in them, check out 2001 Maniacs, which came out I think in 2001.
Yeah. Or the Mangler. You ever seen the Mangler?
I think I have. I couldn't tell you what happened.
He's like the evil guy, the factory that's like sacrificing people to his machine.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he's like the leader. He's like he runs this evil, like the whole town is built off of this sort of like it's like a mill. And he runs it. It's a Stephen King, so of course it's in Maine and all that shit. But he runs it, so he like sacrificed his like kids and shit to keep this town going. And like he's like all fucked up looking. That is actually a decent. That's the I think the Phantasm guy directed that.
Coscarelli.
I think no, that wasn't him. That wasn't. It was another famous director, but it wasn't him. But yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street's awesome. I love 4 and 5 is. I didn't like 5 as much. With the baby stuff was okay. I didn't really love that whole plot. Wasn't bad. They always kill off the hot girls early on. It kind of pisses you off. Like we need to see her more in the movie. But yeah, I love them. You could tell. Me and you both. I definitely fucking. I'm buying the Dream Warrior house. I've got a sick. I don't need money. I told you, Obanoff. I don't need money. I don't need to be spending money on crazy ass fucked up shit. Yeah, I love it. Like I said, that's why I told somebody the other day. They were like, "Why do you buy random shit, or why do you go to random places?" I'm like, "Because I don't picture myself living for like a drastically much longer time than probably I have now." I'm like,
I think I'm on the back half of it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm 41 years old. I'm not going to live another 41 years. I don't really see that working out for me as well. So I might as well enjoy the fuck I'm doing now.
So, vampire movies, I think some of my favorites, and I won't give away my absolute favorite, but and they're a little bit, I guess, a little bit generic because there are a lot of people find them favorite, but I just think they're really good movies. I liked Fright Night quite a bit.
Original and the new one.
I just watched the original.
Original was cheesy, but it was good.
Yeah, it had Marcy Darcy in it too.
Salem, I love Salem's Lot.
How the hell is Rob coming in here at fucking 2.5 hours?
Because
hi, Rob. Salem's Lot was definitely
good.
one.
The original, not the one that was made for TV. I loved.
The Lost Boys was fucking great, and I just love the way that ends, man. Fucking Grandpa rolling in, fucking takes out the fucking head vampire, fucking grabs a drink. This is the only thing I could never stomach about living in Santa Clara is all the damn vampires. It's like, the fuck, you knew all along, you asshole. And
he just let his kids run free and didn't really care. He's like, yeah, I knew there was vampires, but fuck it, y'all gotta live your life. I mean, you got to figure it out on your own, I guess. Tough love.
And I will say my favorite vampire series of all time to celebrate episode 666 is True Blood. There's so many goddamn reasons to like that show.
Yeah, I didn't like True Blood.
If you like it's fucking what's that goddamn vampire kids movies? It's Twilight for adults, and Twilight was a ripoff of the fucking Sookie Stackhouse books and made juvenile.
I thought her name was Cookie.
No, and the fact there's so many reasons to watch that, but the fact that you can narrow down the title and call it Hillbilly Vampires Fucking, or probably more applicably, Redneck Vampires Fucking, it's a great title. You get to see Anna Paquin.
White trash vampires.
Oh my God, she is so fucking cute. You get to see her butt ass goddamn naked. There's so many reasons to like that. What's another vampire movie for you there, Justin?
Oh God. Oh man, I love. What was it? I don't know. I like the stupid shit. I like Dusk Before Dawn was fucking fun.
God damn it, that was gonna be what I closed with.
That movie, because I remember when we watched that movie, we didn't even look at the info. We were sitting at the house. It was me, my dad, and my brother. And my dad went, "Hey, this is George Clooney," and he's like, "This might be interesting. It looks interesting." We didn't read the info about what it was about. So we went into it blind. So all of a sudden, when them fuckers turned into vampires, we were like, what the fuck is this movie? It was awesome because we were surprised. That's what made it so great for me is I had no idea they were vampires. I thought they were just went to a bar. Like we were just watching this movie. It was fucking great when that happened because I did not see that coming at all.
Oh, and it's just, I mean, there's just so much like great twists and turns, so many quotable
Yeah.
lines. Cheech Marin out there talking about pussy in front of the venue, but like at the end again, like a great goddamn ending.
Yes.
And then freaking George Clooney going out there, freaking punching Cheech Marin right in the goddamn face. One of the 3 characters or 4 characters he played in that movie. And what were they, psychos or something? Psychos don't blow up when the sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are.
my brother's favorite part is when that sex machine guy bites him, and the black guy's like, "God damn you, sex machine!" and fucking shoots him in the head. He's like,
"Bring it on, sex machine!"
He's like, "God damn you, sex machine!" When he bit him, he's like, "Motherfucker!" For some reason, and Selma Hayek, of course, was like at her peak. She's still hot now, but that was her peak at that moment.
Yeah, as in they were sitting at perfect peaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rob,
she was.
And now we're gonna talk about boxing.
Woman.
Rob's jumped on to talk about boxing now.
Rob, are you on and available? Has it been 2 minutes? He said, "Give me 2 minutes." I don't know. I guess that wasn't 2 minutes. We're just gonna draw it. Fuck it. I don't care.
I don't have
a.
Now here's really getting depth. Have you seen all the Dusk Till Dawn movies?
No.
They made 3.
Yeah, or 4 maybe.
The second one has got the guy from Terminator 2. You know, the cop,
Robert Patrick.
It's actually pretty good. The third one is they go back like to the old West days when it was still when it was back. It was a club back then, or a place back then. They go back in time. That's actually wasn't that fucking bad. And I can't remember what the 4th one was, but yeah, I've seen all that stupid ass shit.
John Carpenter's Vampires was a disappointment.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either.
It needed to be long. They had to go further into the vampire lore. Like there are all these rules, and like there's like fucking all these rules between. Like, give me all the fucking rules, you assholes! Like they didn't.
I did like James. I like James Woods though.
There's a good song about him. Rob, what are the fucking vampire rules? Like I don't know. They cut him off.
Don't let him in the house. It's fucking. This is what they can't come in without being invited.
Yeah,
some shit like that. That's the fucking
more shit, and they try to get deeper, but then the movie was 95 minutes long, so clearly they didn't fucking have any idea where to take it.
You know, they made 3 of them too.
Oh, and by the way, John Carpenter, let's say The Thing, one of the greatest fucking horror movies ever made. They Live, one of the greatest goddamn sci-fi alien government propaganda movies that ever made.
Great fight. Hey, you talk about fighting and boxing, great fight scene.
Yes.
Him and Roddy Piper beat the fuck out of each other.
Yes.
They Live was a fucking documentary.
I'm sure it was a seminal moment in your life first time you saw that, Rob.
It was the blueprint, the precursor.
Oh man, what do you have a favorite horror movie, Rob? That's what we were doing.
My favorite horror movie was fucking the Misfits boxing card from last night. It was one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life. Fucking scary as fuck.
James actually watched every fight. James watched every fight. Did you watch every fight?
I know. He said it in the chat. He's a fucking deviant, him, isn't he? What's wrong? He's a glutton for punishment or something. No, I just saw the highlights on the fucking. Oh my god. Absolutely. Like some of these characters. Anyway, there's no point fucking criticizing Misfits boxing. The clue is in the name there. Like, but yeah, some right fucking reprobates altogether. Horror movies. You kind of named all my favorite vampire movies there with a Fright Night. Fright Night was the first horror movie I saw, I think, when I was like fucking 10 or 8 or something like that.
Nice.
9. I think my sister, you know, when you're back in the day, like you used to be able to go into the video shop and you'd be like, give us that movie, and the fella behind the counter go, well, that one's over 18s, and you go, your mass isn't allowed to watch it if there's not tits in it, and he go, well, there kind of is tits in it, like, but do you want to fast forward the tits? I go, yeah, fast forward the tits. He goes, right, you can hire it. That was the kind of,
it was a simpler time,
but you kind of stayed away from the horrors because you wouldn't know what the fuck you'd be getting, like, but Dusk Till Dawn, Lost Boys, fucking Fright Night, any cheesy shit. Like, I'm not really a fucking horror movie guy. I can't. I'm kind of too cynical for horror movies, I think. Especially the modern day ones, they're all like just fucking fast cuts and twitching kind of jump scare shit. Like, isn't it fucking not the same as back in the day when you had a good old serial killers and like all the 80s horror movies, and then they got shit like basically.
Yeah, just like the world.
Kind of like boxing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like boxing. There seems to be a theme here. But what wasn't shit was the performance Bam Rodriguez gave. Why don't you give us that? And your prediction for Boots versus Xander Zayas, and we're gonna call it a day.
Boots versus Xander Zayas. I don't know. We haven't seen Boots really up against any live bodies or anybody that can cause him any kind of problems yet. Is Zayas the guy? A lot of people think he is. Like, so what does Boots look like when he has to overcome some adversity? I'd love to see that, to see what he's made of. I think he'll have enough to get past Zayas. And Bam is like, he's just one of these once in a lifetime guys. It's a little bit of a pity that he's too small to make it into the national psyche, because I saw you guys or the kind of psyche of the casual, like, because I saw you guys talking in the chat like about the Inoue and Bam Rodriguez fight, and that should be a fight for the ages. Like, that should be the one that's everybody's talking about. And it would kind of
Japanese and a bunch of Mexicans.
Yeah, it'll just pass off without, like, for us, we love it, but it'll just pass off and people won't know about it, won't talk about it. Like, same as kind of Inoue and Nakatani, like an absolute glorious exhibition of fucking pugilism in a massive venue filled to the rafters of fight fans, and kind of nobody over here didn't make a fucking a dent over here, like, in anything. But still a great fight. I don't know who wins that one, actually. I think they're both capable of beating each other, and they're two great fighters, and it'll come down to maybe size. If them two get it on. Is that what they're talking about next now for Bam? Or is that just replaying fantasy fight matchups?
I think they're saying one more, and I'm arguing that he needs to fight the other Inoue, because I mean, if he beats him and beats the brakes off of him, yeah, it sets it up big in Japan.
And we all want to be big in Japan. Great bunch of lads.
Yeah, optimistically be bigger than Jesus.
How could you say something like that on episode 666? You're a fucking...
I'm just quoting the Beatles. Fuck.
We're a great bunch of lads.
But yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, James is pretty dismissive of the idea that Bam could win that fight, and I just
he's a bit too small, maybe.
He has better feet. He, like, Inoue is a foot speed guy. Bam is a cut angles guy, and
he's on the kind of, like, Inoue's, he's fresher than Inoue as well, isn't he? Like, he's younger, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Than Inoue. So Inoue's, the only thing that we said is going to get him is either the size or the age. Like, so as you go on too long, you know, the Nakatani fight would have taken something out of him as well. Although I think he was in control and he was showing levels in that. He had to overcome some adversity. He looked like he was getting very tired down the stretch. So
he had to think his way through the fight. It was a mentally exhausting affair for him, you know.
And I think, but yeah, Bam will put him under similar pressure in terms of making him think as well. So yeah, look, the fucking great fight. If it comes, we'll relish it. It probably won't happen in boxing, you know, that way. Don't get yourself too excited. But yeah, like, two generational talents. We'd love to see them square off in the ring, but I don't think it diminishes or takes away from either one legacy, no matter who the winner is there. Like, if Inoue, after everything he's given us over the years, was to fall short against Bam Rodriguez, wouldn't make him anything less. And then if Bam's not good enough to get the job done against Inoue, he's still one of the best fighters pound for pound in the world. So yeah, 2 pound for pound guys slugging it out. Not what, you know, it doesn't happen enough.
No, and the fact that Inoue might be doing it in back-to-back fights, or two of the last 3 fights. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Against other yeah. No, you're right. He probably never get the credit this side, but he's a megastar over there, so he doesn't give a fuck. I didn't get tickets for Katie Taylor. Sold out.
Sold out?
They sold out in minutes. So she did 40,000 on the pre-sale that went on the Thursday. And then, yeah, the rest sold out the next day. So I think she sold out 85,000. So we were in the queue. My little one was on the go. Like, so the missus was in the queue for tickets for 3 of us. There was like 38,000 ahead of us in the queue. So I was extremely cynical and skeptical whether she could sell out Croke Park. It is a massive venue, but yeah, she's done it. So, and she's done a fighting fucking and relatively unknown fighter as well. Like, it's all about Katie. So should be some good fights and should be some. opportunities for some of the Irish fighters on the undercard of that one. Like, but I'm still trying to sort tickets, so probably try.
A lot of them were bought by resellers. A lot.
Yeah,
of
course.
There'll be a secondary market coming up really quick on that shit.
She was down in Wexford last week. I was ducking. I was hiding. I was in hiding. She's doing a radio tour, wasn't she, to promote the sale of the tickets? So I was fucking hiding out, man.
Rob, if you would have called into the radio show,
tickets.
It sound like you're answering yourself.
Oh my god, I missed the fucking boat there, didn't I? That would have been fairly easy to do as well. Local radio, like, maybe some other time.
We have another Katie calling in.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's good she's retiring because maybe
well, that serves me right, I think, for all the impressions over the years that we didn't get tickets then in the end, like, doesn't it? We locked right out of the fucking algorithm. Sorry I couldn't get on earlier, guys. It's just the way it's going at the moment.
All right. Well, what are you gonna fucking do? We had a good time. We're not gonna see you next week. We'll see you the week after that to review Boots versus Xander Zayas, which I think is going to end up being a pretty good scrap. So you folks have a good time out there in internet land over the next 2 weeks. Behave yourselves. Maybe don't say incendiary things to other people on Facebook for a couple of weeks. Talk to myself too. And we'll see you back here. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the summertime. Get some goddamn sunshine and get out of the house, you basement dwellers. We love you.